Good evening, here's the Storm fans. My name is Bahamut. This evening I'm joined by Crushinator, and we are here in Division E with Illidancing Queens on the left and FC Hong Kong on the right. And before we get into our draft, let's figure out how we got to Tomb of Spider Queen for map number 1. Home team this evening is going to be the members of Illidancing Queens. They are the higher seeded team, so they opted for first pick priority, banning out Dragonshire and Braxis Holdout. FC Hong Kong went ahead and got map pick priority, so they banned up Volskaya Infernal Shrines and chose to take us to Volskaya Foundry. Crush, we get to Tomb of Spider Queen. We get to this tomb game. Anything that stands out to you when it comes to our bans or first pick priorities?
Well, it seems like the bans are researched. We do have some Gul'dan play coming out from FC Hong Kong, and obviously very, very strong wave clear from the Fel Mage. And Stukov banned away. That's one of the most played supports. That is the most played support of Born to Shine. So just sticking with keeping the other team off balance here.
Banning out comforts is always an easy thing to do, and yeah, you have a lot of control in that Stukov as well. We've been seeing a lot of Diva play as well, so flailing swipes is great for a team disengage, but you also have that lurking arm to be able to get the single target push away onto the Diva mech. You don't want to deal with that, and also, forcing someone onto something they're not as comfortable as might be the priority, but we're going to have our first pick. Does it? Okay, it's going to be a Diablo. I was thinking maybe we see the Joanna, but they're playing aggressive on the side of Illidancing Queens.
Absolutely. Diablo, very heavily played from both teams, and on the map here, like Tomb, such a small, map, small lanes, a lot of terrain. Diablo can do a lot of work here.
The setup from them is massive, and then being able to get the souls quickly through the rotations between mid to top is a big benefit for them as well. We're going to grab a Kael'thas and a Deckard Cain for FC Hong Kong. That'll give them some wave clear, lockdown, and zone control with that Deckard as well.
Good counter picks as well. We often see the Kael'thas and Deckard paired with the Diablo to go for that big wombo combo. So we'll have to see what Illidancing Queens does without those two heroes.
Do we look for some sort of dive setup into this? Maybe a Tyrande afterwards? It's going to be the Anduin, so they're going to look for Chastise into the Fend dive. Cassio also is going to bring a little bit of wave clear for that team, but they're still lackluster in that department since they're missing a Bruiser and a wave clear type hero. I would maybe prioritize some sort of mage or a Bruiser. And they're going to get rid of that Orphea who, well, really, really can scale throughout the game, especially with those chomp talents.
Absolutely. Strong ban there from FC. Favored mage over on the side of Illidancing Queens. We'll have to see what they want to pick up in terms of wave clear, as Cassia's all right, but has to kind of go in hard in order to clear those waves. So they're going to need to pick up a more long-range mage for that.
So let's see. Things like Jane are still up and available, but I feel like she's really gone to the wayside. Gul'dan's already banned out. Kel'Thuzad's an option. Pear's kind of into the Diablo, but I just feel like it's so underplayed, or not underplayed, but it's just not a priority for a lot of people. We probably won't be seeing that. Regardless, over on the side of FC Hong Kong, they're going to need a main tank. They're going to grab that ETC, and they'll have a Grey main. So this is also a bit of a denial as well. Greymane pairs super well with the Diablo, gives them a dive buddy. Yes, they would be still lacking in wave clear, but they do have a little bit of wave clear and siege through that Greymane. So great pickup and combo right there for the side of FC Hong Kong. Illidancing Queens, last two picks for them. Gonna need that wave clearance solo.
I'd love to see a Tassadar come through here. Okay. Get a wall to deny that Greymane dive.
Pairs into the Diablo
to help
too.
Out creating some terrain for Diablo. There it is. Tassadar coming out for Sezdrin. And there's the Leoric for Yotaru.
That is good wave clear, good solo lane, and with this they're going to pick up a Gazlo to round out their solo. I wonder.
Making it all the way to the end of the draft there is Gazlo.
Yeah. Diva's still up and available. Chromie made it through this draft completely as well. And this is at least just CCL brain of mine, but like Chromie, it's a rare occasion when she actually doesn't get picked or banned. I think she actually has one game of zero involvement. But a Gazlo, we could be seeing this in the solo lane. We could be seeing this in the 4-man rotation, because Greymane into Leoric could be a possibility as well. Greymane used to be one of those solo lane gods for the longest time once they got changed around. It used to be in the solo, then it was in the 4-man, then it was in the solo, then it was everywhere. So now we kind of just load into the game. But Crush, thoughts on the draft? Who maybe won?
Well, taking a look here, we definitely have some big damage coming out from Illidancing Queens, but I like the denial options coming out from FC Hong Kong. The Gravel Bomb from Gazlo can really throw a wrench in things if Cassia goes in. Deckard rooting people from a range, Greymane ready to blow anyone up that comes too close. So I'm excited to see how these teams clash. I'm excited to see whether Gazlo does end up in the 4-man, as Greymane into Leoric can be a tough matchup.
Oh, absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and get on into this. Game number 1 of our best-of-5 series. In our Division E semifinals on the left-hand side, we have the members of Illidancing Queens. We've got Jakebot on the Diablo. Dax will be on that Cassia. Born to Shine on the Anduin. Yotaro on the Leoric. And Sestrin on that Tassadar.
On the right and the red, FC Hong Kong. It's going to be Ronan on the ETC, Nematode on Greymane, Cake playing Kael'thas, Blackstormer on the Gazlo, and Tiny Notai on the Deckard.
Very good. We'll go ahead and get into mid lane. I'm going to quickly just swap myself to full screen, and we are ready to go into game number 1 on Tomb of Spider Queen. Looking at this right now, wave clear is pretty strong for the side of FC Hong Kong. I think it's going to be the Diablo Tassadar play that really makes the setup in this early game. The 10 talent tier is going to be, I kind of still think, in favor for the side of Illidancing Queens. You have Entomb, you have Ball Lightning, you have the Apocalypse, even the Lightning Breath is a big pickup as well if you want to go for that easy bake oven as we used to know it. So we'll see what happens at that level 10 range. Until then, it's going to be rotations between top to mid for the core 4, and we're going to be looking at our solo lane periodically, which looks like it will be Gazlo into a Leoric.
Jakebot in a little bit of trouble here. Born to Shine looking for the pull, but not going to get it. So some great level 1 fight coming out from FC Hong Kong as they start up their rotations here.
An early game pick like that is going to yield you a little bit of experience, but the other thing you're going to gain from this is Diablo is not able to grab souls. The enemy team has to play safer because they're afraid of a potential gank, and that's what we're seeing Sestrin and Born to Shine do in this top lane. Ronan doing a really good job of anchoring as a main tank, and this is something that I like to bring up every so often. You don't always have to be in lane. You don't always have to be hitting things. Sitting in the bush like that and having the setup for the power slide is big for your team as they almost find half the health bar of Sestrin, but Crush, that was a little scary, I'm gonna be honest.
That was a little dicey there for sure. A great medallion from Sestrin Canoe. Ignore just enough CC to get behind the wall there. But so far, FC Hong Kong looking very strong in these rotations. Like you said, Ronan just commanding the space, staying on that mount as often as possible.
Being able to just to anchor this well as the enemy tank also puts a little bit of fear into the opposing side. I keep jumping down the bottom lane because I'm waiting to see if one of these two is going to end up going a little too far in the lane, but it's not the case. So it's just it's this threat because now Diablo's utilizing Fire Stomp into the rotation rather than into the wave or anything like that. And I know it's not the longest cooldown in the world, but still being able to deny that from someone in their kit is still a denial. So now Jakebot's having to play that same anchor role, and they're also making sure that they're gonna catch up on this experience because Crush, they're starting to fall behind, at least in the rotations.
Yeah, the wave clear provided by Deckard and Kael'thas is definitely keeping them ahead right now. Sestrin trying to get set up for those big Shockray wave clears, but without something like a Johanna to come in and finish this up, Diablo taking a little bit longer. Not to mention that FC Hong Kong just doing a great job of making the rotations long. No one's able to go through the middle on the side of Illidancing Queens.
And that's the prowess that we were talking about earlier in this game, that Ronan set up for the side of FC Hong Kong. Now they're playing the safe. Even the main tank is taking the safe rotation on the far side of this, and Tiny is also sitting in this bush. I mean, it's a Decker Cane, but they still have abilities that can pop up and scare people as just down in the bottom lane, Blackstormer and Yotaro still matched out. Really no one winning or losing out that lane, as this will be the bruiser camp for the side of Illidancing Queens.
Yeah, the solo laners look to simply be trading. They don't want to do anything too crazy here. Yotaro's sitting on 18 gems. Looks like Blackstormer was able to turn in just a little bit earlier. See if Yotaro can drop those 18. That'd be pretty big here for Illidancing Queens.
Cassia dives in this top lane, and Ronan's going to get picked off. That'll be the first blood for the side of Illidancing Queens as they've evened things up. The Chastise will connect. The Greymane has to use their medallion, and they're out of there with 160-something health. Jakebot going for the turn-in, but no turn availability just yet for our Illidancing Queens.
Great Dark Flight out there by Nematode, using that wave to jump away and survive. But yeah, pretty close to the next turn in here. Only one more gem needed for Illidancing Queens.
They've got this in the bank. They're ready to go, but I think what they're waiting for is someone to step into this wave to give Diablo the Shadow Charge angle they're looking for into the bottom lane. No, they're just going to back off right now. I was waiting to see if this was an engage from Diablo, but not the case, unfortunately. But fortunately for the side of FC Hong Kong, they're going to be looking for the turning. Can they get it?
Cake holding 16. That would be a pretty big drop-off. Dak's going to come on through and get the first interrupt. And there come the Flame Stomps. Looks like FC Hong Kong is going to have to look for another opportunity here, Baja.
Down in bottom lane, this is still Gazlo pushing things out, but they're starting to build more turrets. The pressure's starting to be put onto this Leoric, and the wave clears a little bit faster, so we'll keep peeking down here every so often, but it looks like the Gazlo might be gaining control of that lane slowly but surely as 17 gems might go in for Cake. It's interrupted by the Divine Star.
Looks like Cake did manage to get those gems off just
Oh, no,
in
you're
time
right, yeah.
there.
I thought it was interrupted.
Jakebot didn't quite have the Flame Stomp available, wasn't going to commit the Shadow Charge. And that's a pretty big turn-in. However, Sestrin sneaking down to the bottom lane is going to have blue Web Weavers for our first turn into the game.
They'll be descending as far up as the enemy minion waiver structure is, so pushing this top lane back into the front gate is a little beneficial for them. But unfortunately, it's cleared out quickly. Diablo gets their souls, and we will see our first Web Weaver phase of the game going over to the blue team. Quickly to update people, souls for Diablo finished out. We have 55 out of the 200 stacks on the Shockwave for that Tassadar, 14 out of the 20 for the ETC Prog Rock, and we have 16 out of the 20 for the Kael'thas. But that is uncapped, and you can go beyond the 20. The 20 just gets you the Arcane Barrier activatable. But we have our Web Weaver phase through, and top lane's already gone down.
Jakebot with some good dismounts there, going to leave Ronan a little bit caught out. Jakebot trying to get the flip, it will land. But look at all those rubies, putting Ronan right back to full health.
The value of Deckard Cain showcased right there. Ronan should have died 2 times over, but you said it just right. You have that ruby value. Also, this is a full gem build for our Deckard Cain, so they're going to be looking for slows, healing denial, and healing increase. In no particular order, as I did say that backwards. Regardless, this is going to be Web Weaver phase ending. The nice thing about not getting first turn-in is you have the potential for back-to-backs, and this is what we're seeing on the side of FC Hong Kong. 38 already in the pot, they've got 55 in their pockets, but during the Web Weaver phase, they can probably pick up enough for another turn-in afterwards. So this is something that Casanova, Crone, and I have been talking about during those exhibition weekends, is prioritizing the second turn-in so you can potentially go for the third afterwards. But 10 talents here will be arriving first for the side of Illidancing Queens. What does the fight look like?
Light Bomb going on Jakebot, but the rest of FC Hong Kong are going to retreat. That's a great pull by Cassia. Leoric on the outside, not going to quite get this Gazlo. Yotaru's going to go down here. And now it's Illidancing Queens that are on the retreat.
I can't believe that they lived right there. Gazlo should have died 100%, but they live.
Below 100 health for quite a while there.
I know, it's
just out of range was the shock ray of Tassadar.
God, I'm sure everyone on that team is just like Fire Stomp, you know, Lightning Fury, anything, any sort of projectile we can hit this. Okay, all right, no. 10 talent.
Wind, something?
Yeah, exactly. A sneeze. But we do have 10 talent tiers for the other side as well for FC Hong Kong, as they're going to push in with their first Web Weaver phase of the game. Second one overall on Tomb of the Spider Queen in our first map of our best of 5 semifinals for Division E. As this will be top lane Web Weaver cleared out, mid lane starting to assail this front gate, and bottom lane pushed in by the Gazlo, but that's already cleared out by said Leoric.
Jakebot going in on Cake here, has to get the Unstoppable to move away. Looks like the siege will mostly be stopped here as the final Web Weaver falls. One thing I want to point out over on the side of FC Hong Kong, we're looking at a stage dive from ETC. So possibly a surprise engage from the alternate lane. Leo's going to have to be a little bit careful down in the bottom lane in case FC Hong Kong tries something a little tricky here.
I wonder if it is one of those cases, just as a gank ability talent, you stage dive to the far side of the hero, so let's say the left side of this Leoric, between the wall and them, and then you power slide through, so you have the slow, you have the power slide, you have a little bit of chain CEC damage, and that Gazlo can maybe play off of that with some Explodium charges as well. Good call on that, and we'll have to see if they're able to utilize it. Apocalypse was used, but that's an Apocalypse used to stall out a turn-in. That's 90 seconds that they're not going to have that.
It'll be a little bit tough here for Illidancing Queens to claim their next fight. They do have their combo online, the Entomb and the Light Bomb and the Apocalypse. So we'll see if they can string 2 of those together. It looks like the next team fight won't be for a little bit, as FC Hong Kong still jockeying for position on this next turn-in.
No 13 talents here close for either team, but I think you said, like, yeah, they're literally vying for this one turn, and Leorc is in the bottom, and I don't know if they got a few turned in down there. No, they did. They're actually just rotating up because they want to fight as a full 5v5. Big Entomb coming onto
Entomb
2.
is
Power
here.
slide through. There's a light bomb, stay a while and listen, Gravo bomb. Everything's being used as Yotaro will go down. There's going to be an Archon form, but will it actually find a kill? Ronin so very low. They lose the Diablo on the opposing side. That is ETC going down, and now they're looking at Sestrin here.
Sestrin in trouble, trying to back off. Oh, almost gets away. So it's going to be a 2-for-1 here for FC Hong Kong. We saw the stage dive used just to exit the map for long enough to avoid the insta-kill, able to turn around for 2. FC Hong Kong able to turn around that Entomb engage.
Cake is going to be able to get their last 10 in, and that will be the third web weaver of the game. Second one for the side of FC Hong Kong coming out right now, and this is going to be an immediate move for top lane. We're seeing this priority because this is the boss lane as well. This is the lane that a lot of teams aim to end the game with boss plus web weavers. We're just seeing a web weaver phase right now as it is 10 minutes into our game. 13's up on both sides, and let's see what happens here with this push.
Pretty serious siege in the top lane. It looks like the fort's going to go down before the web weaver even drops.
That's a big gain.
Let's see if Illidancing Queens can find an engage here, but without this fort, they're going to have not a lot of room to work with.
And mid lane fort itself is currently sitting at a couple hundred HP itself. I'm actually trying to look really quickly, and it went away before I could actually bring it up, but I think we're sitting somewhere in the 500 range on that one as Leorc.
Uh-oh, Yotaro.
Whew, I saw that. I was about to be like, you're gonna be able to get out of there, right, bud? And they're able to Wraith Walk right out of that one, but the Web Weaver phase still going for for FC Hong Kong.
Triple fort play coming out from FC, about what you would expect for a second turn in at this point in the game. Going to be a tough spot here, being down this many structures on the path to level 20. Illidancing Queens is going to have to find some space, find their spot on the map, to try to move back in, as FC Hong Kong is now positioning around the boss.
It's 14's up. I'm trying to look and see. I think, because we have all of our heroics off cooldown across the board, it's just who's got the better control, and that's what I was trying to figure out. Without Mosh Pit, I feel like this might go over to the side of Illidancing Queens if they were going to go for that boss. So they respect it, they don't go for it, but they will lose the turn-in. They actually accidentally, or they just don't split themselves across the map, and they're not able to witness them turning in on the top portion, and this will be blue Web Weavers descending for the side of Illidancing Queens, their second Web Weaver phase of the game, fourth one in total.
Definitely what they needed here, just a way to get pushing back on the map, get their vision control back. Now Nematode and Cake got to be careful here as Jakebot's looking for an angle. Going to be spotted here by Tiny Notai though.
And they actually got the Haragic Cube with the Sapphire on that. You saw Diablo moving so slow as they got the root afterwards, and the follow-up burst from Kael'thas forced Jakebot back. And also to note, Jakebot only at 62 souls. That's going to be a
DPS.
massive Entomb. Stay a while and listen to try and turn things around as Diablo will go down. That's going to be the Apocalypse coming out as well as Yotaro gets the short-range Wraith Walk, and Born to Shine gets hit with the Power Slide, but where is the damage to get the kill?
Somehow, FC Hong Kong just turning every single one of these engages down 2 heroics. A great Entomb onto the 2 DPS members of FC. But there's Illidancing Queens having to back off once again after losing Diablo.
And they're going to be sitting with their 16 talent here on top of that for FC Hong Kong. So the world is kind of theirs if they want to maybe make an aggressive rotation, but it seems like they're looking just for camp pressure. They're actually going to double down on that one as they have the Siege Giants and bottom coming out soon. And we're only looking at 14 gems necessary for the turn-in on the side of FC Hong Kong. So it's going to be probably more of a defensive macro game from the side of Illidancing Queens, in the sense of making sure they push back the lanes and watch these turn-in points.
They're definitely in a tough spot, but they're not out of it just yet. Jakebot moving very aggressively here.
Ooh.
Cursed Bullet is going to land, but it looks like the engage will not be followed up on. It's going to need to be healed up there by Born to Shine. The rest of FC Hong Kong is coming in. They're trying to get a quick turn in, but Ronin's ready for a fight.
Ronan wants it. The power slide's looking ready to go, but Jakebot's not the target. Even though Diablo doesn't have souls, it's still too hard of a target to hit, and the Greymane Curse Bullet was on a few second cooldown. It's not the longest cooldown, and so ripping it as much as they have been is actually pretty good because you're forcing Anduin to heal, you're forcing them to use some of their mana, albeit we're in this later half of the game, so I don't think they're really struggling with their mana pool in general, but you're still forcing cooldowns and ability use out of the opposing side healers. So it's just little things like that that help you out throughout the game. So now they're going to get their third Webweaver phase for the side of FC Hong Kong. This is our 5th one of this entire map. Dax might get rotated on here. They get the dismount, but can they find the kill?
Gravel Bomb not going to land here. The slide not up for Ronan. Dax able to scoot on away. We've got red Webweavers coming on down, moving right into these keep walls. Illidancing Queens are going to have to make a choice on where they rotate.
So bottom lane, just going to be... That'll push out naturally in its favor, but for anyone that doesn't know, the Webweaver does naturally or slowly lose health over time as it does push regardless of whether or not it's being hit or anything like that. So that bottom lane slowly will lose health, but it is still a threat as they're looking to push in through this top lane and potentially take a keep with this 5-stack through top. Also to note, ETC could stage dive bottom if they really wanted to try and split, but right now Jake is gonna get hit with a lot, but can they get out?
Look at the combo.
Wow.
The wave from the objective coming right across 3 stunned members. Counterkill onto Gazlo, though. Sestron's popping off, but Nematode is going to shut that down. Jakebot's still trying to move on in, can't quite get the pin against the corner. And this keep could be in trouble here, Bahamut.
Keep is going to be below half its health. Cake is doing their best to throw these living bombs onto the keeps themselves to spread that around to the enemy players. They also went into Ignite at level 16, so they do have that off the Flame Strike, but this is looking like a double keep phase, and this is what I was talking about the bottom lane. While it does slowly lose its health, this Webweaver does push really strong as we are about 15 to 16 minutes into this game, and with the single kill onto Tassadar still, they're looking for this boss. And I don't think they can make the rotation quick enough to this, because, yeah, no, this is... Well, actually, you know what? I looked at the minimap, and then I looked at the boss health, and I'm like, they're only at half point.
They could possibly get here, but they're going to have to move right across Vision without Tassadar. I'm not sure it would be advised, even if it was possible. Jakebot, thinking about it, going to get stunned out here, not going to get there in time. Valkyrie not going to catch Tiny Notai. Photosshine with the cleanse, going to deny the stage dive of Ronan. So no boss stolen, but no deaths to it either.
It was advantageous, but I respect them for backing off as well and not just trying to force the situation. Also to note, we didn't really talk about this. ETC went into Encore at level 13, so they have that cooldown reduction on their heroic for face melts from themselves, as well as that little loudspeaker. But seems like the members of Illidancing Queen, the members of FC Hong Kong want to push for core with this boss. Can they actually take said core?
It's going to be tough. They don't have a lot of space with that mid keep still up. The core health just now reaching 100%. It looks like FC Hong Kong are going to back off here. I think that would have been a pretty tough go, and considering how the rest of this game's gone, I don't think they needed to take the chance.
Definitely a safer play coming out from them, as they will hit 20 talent here, and they can now move in through mid lane for potential siege with these catapults, as well as their heroic in tow. Death metal for ETC, looking to basically stage dive in and die.
That's always a decent plan. I mean, you go in there, you haven't passed the stage, the mosh all game long, and then all of a sudden you're dancing. So it looks like mid keep is now coming in. The level 20 advantage is a big deal here for FC Hong Kong.
Even though they are so far into the map, it's just exactly that. The 20 talent tier threat is too big right now, and they're going to respect it. They're going to lose their keep through mid, but what does this mean for the side of FC Hong Kong? Tomb of Spider Queen doesn't have a lot of win conditions outside of maybe pushing with boss, pushing with maybe bruiser camps or webweavers, and they're very far from a webweaver phase, as we are going to go back to our beautiful faces while we figure out what is this pause all about. Looks like we have a player that might have had a small DC, but we can pause here. We can hang out for a couple minutes and we can talk about what the win condition could be for the side of FC Hong Kong. What do you think? Do they play it safe for the next 40-some gems, 42 gems that they have to pick up, or do they look to just rush core?
I mean, right now, they've got the 20-19 advantage. They're looking at the bruiser camp. If they don't push off this bruiser camp and they allow Illidancing Queens to get level 20, we're still way out from the next boss. They don't really have a good opportunity to go in.
Mhm.
So I think we may just see them rotating up and down, not allowing Illidancing Queens to get any presence on the map. And yeah, I think it's now or waiting quite a bit before the next opportunity for FC Hong Kong.
Well, let's find out what happens here, because I believe we are ready to go. I'm going to get us back into the cast. I'll count us back in, and let's get going into our game number 1 ending, potentially. As we are back on in to Tomb of Spider Queen here, making sure that everything... I did swap us over. Also, really quickly, during that, I just want to say, Moist Weenus, thank you for the resub. Moist Weenus, thank you for the 69 bits. And thank you for all the follows, everyone, as I hope you're all enjoying the content and the wonderful games that are going to be presented tonight. We have one best of 5 for the Division E playoffs, and this is the semifinal match to take the winning team to the grand finals in Division E. Can they go for core? They were listening to us
They're
in the break.
They're just going to go ahead and dive on it.
They're looking for it. Can
they?
they?
Camp at all. 50% on the core. There's the gravel bomb coming out, and it looks like the damage in this late game is just going to be too much to handle. Diablo and Anduin down, and there goes the core.
GG's go over to the side for FC Hong Kong. They go up 1 in the best of 5. I gotta say, that was the ending that I was expecting them to go for, because they had the Greymane, which is great siege damage. They had this Kael'thas, which was zoning in a sense, but also a lot of good damage as we look at it. Excuse me, highest damage in the game, 45,000. Third highest siege in the game as well from that Kael'thas. So just really, really well played from Illidancing. Oh my god, from FC Hong Kong this evening in the first game. 3 to 10 in kills as well. Anything that stood out from you from that first game?
I think when looking back at those fights where it seemed like Illidancing Queens got a great engage, we saw the Entomb Light Bomb come on out, but then all of a sudden there's rubies all over the ground, there's living bombs flying around. The Kael'thas and the Deckard, I think, were great counter picks, even coming in so early in the draft to deny the engage potential of Illidancing Queens that game.
I loved it. Like, they had all this aggression with the Diablo, with the Leoric who wanted to get in there. Cassia was either pulling or literally diving in, so they answered it with a buttload of CC. And yeah, they slowed them in their tracks. They stopped them. It was really, really well played from FC Hong Kong. As I believe we're going to wait for our next map, and until then, we can just chat about what we saw. We'll pull it back to our beautiful faces, as I realize that you are an entire league and rank above me. But hey, this used to be a platinum stream, all right?
I'll float around now and again.
Till I play Storm League by myself, and then I realize that I need teammates in a team-based game. Wild, right? Absolutely wild.
Crazy, right?
That you need teammates.
Can you imagine having 2 separate leagues for that?
Wait, what? Why would you split a competitive mode into a team mode and a singular mode? That makes no sense to me. No other MOBA.
I certainly do not know.
No other MOBA does that at all. No, not at all. I've never seen another MOBA or even FPS do that, actually. Because I think Overwatch, you can actually... I think Overwatch did it like Dota, where you actually have to do role-based placement games now.
Yeah, they did. So you've got entirely different MMR based on your role now, which is a really interesting system. I haven't quite experienced it myself. My experience with Overwatch is I remember it's a game I bought.
Yep.
I go into a quick match, and there are 4 snipers on my team, and then I try again in 3 months. So I haven't really got to experience it, but I've heard pretty good things about it.
It's I have a lot of friends who are very into it. Just I played it a ton with them, and then I just kept coming back to Heroes. So that's my issue with that one. Honest to God, the only reason I know that they do it in Dota is because I was watching Kendrick Swish like almost a year ago playing a couple Dota 2 games, and he was saying that, I think it was like right around the same time they actually did an Overwatch. Dota was doing it, and I thought it was a really interesting system because like you're queuing into your role rather than queuing in as your rank. So I don't know. It's definitely interesting, but obviously bigger pool of players and a lot more data for those 2 games specifically.
It does have that advantage of having the extra players so they can get so granular with it. But I think it also just speaks to the type of game it is, where it's almost like baseball. Like just every single thing that happens can be broken down into a spreadsheet, broken down into statistics. And taking that and using it to build a matchmaking system in a game like Dota, I think makes a lot of sense. Whereas you come over to Heroes and there's so much nuance, there's so much art to it, rather than science. And we saw them try, a performance-based matchmaking, which unfortunately met a short end. But I think it just speaks to game design. It's a little bit different over here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the game literally plays completely differently than other MOBAs. We have shared experience. We don't have this item shop. We don't have all of that. I was actually, when I was talking with Doa about a lot of this stuff, he's like, I think League is easier than Heroes. And I was like, I don't know about that, dude. He's like, no, because like all the heroes, like for example, and this is something he made a point of, and this is a valid point. Joanna has Blessed Momentum. Diablo has Diabolical Momentum. And then there's a slew of other heroes who have their own different Momentum or CDR-based talents. It used to just be Battle Momentum for everybody. But then they made it unique for everybody, and then they made it unique within each of those uniquenesses as well. So it's like, there's a lot of nuance in Heroes of the Storm that, because the point they made was items are always items. They're like, you buy this, it does this. Whereas when you take talents, it completely actually changes the ability. Like, you now have, for example, you now have a massive slow off your Heroic Cube because you hit Sapphire beforehand. So it's a lot of those little things. And you know, like, us talking back and forth, I was like, it makes sense to me because I've been around it forever. And then he can say the same. But he can say the same thing about League. Like, he's been around League forever. And so, like, for him, it's just like, oh, yeah, like, you buy this item, it does this thing. So.
Absolutely. Like, my experience with League is... There's so much to know. There's a billion heroes, there's a giant shared item pool, and it looks so daunting. But then you talk to someone about starting, it's like, you're going to take this one champion, you're going to buy exactly these items, you're going to go to the same lane and the same map for 40 games, and you're going to learn that. And you're like, oh, is that all? And then you learn sort of one thing, and then one other thing. Whereas you come over to Heroes, and you have to know a lot more at the start, I feel.
Yeah. I think it could also be said for a lot of MOBAs in general too, like A moving. Like A moving was something I didn't know about until literally like 6 months into me playing this game. Because this was my first MOBA as well. So I had never played a MOBA, so I didn't understand. Like, I came from the realm of FPS. I played Counter-Strike and Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, and like that's all I played.
Yeah.
Yes, I was one of those kids. And then I never played League of Legends or Dota or anything like that because just none of my friends did.
I got a couple of hints off of StarCraft, because you get stuff like unit control, you get stuff like A moving, camera control a little bit from there. But if you're coming from FPS, there's just, besides maybe the fact that you need to control space, there's not a whole lot to work with.
I think the only thing I could really bring from that to this is just screen awareness. But even then, I didn't know where to look on the screen, so it's not like that was beneficial realistically. Because I still didn't know, like, watch your minimap every like 4 seconds essentially.
It's tough. There's a lot of differences coming in from that for sure. A lot of my FPS experience came from when I was younger, a lot of console type stuff, so I didn't get sort of the hardcore Counter-Strike stuff until later. But yeah, just trying to learn how to aim by flicking. People talk about this all the time, and you just see them shooting. It's like, how on earth are you doing that without dragging your hand over and lining up your shot? And everyone's just like...
It was a weird sniper thing, and I don't know how, but like, it's just a weird thing that like you slowly pick up in Counter-Strike. I don't know why. It's just, but it's like that with anything. Like, look at Heroes, like landing a combo off of Kel'Thuzad, Jaina, any mage is the same kind of button mechanical skill. Like being able to flick your wrist and get a sniper shot's in my opinion, still as, and maybe even more, it's easier than to be able to hit, a combo off a Kel'Thuz. Like, I think hitting a combo off a Kel'Thuz is a lot harder than hitting a headshot in a shooter, personally.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's different skill sets for sure. It's different, like, it's just, is it button combos? Is it reacting to what you're seeing? And sometimes when you get better and break it down, you find the parts that make the whole, and it ends up being... It's not so much that it's easier than it looks, but it's more understandable than you saw in the first place.
All right, Gio's asking for game 2 because this is interesting, but you know what? We have no control over those things. So even though the lobby's here and it's ready to go, I'm going to make you all wait a little bit longer. So let's talk more about our experiences with FPSs now. John Mill actually made the best point in chat when we get into game right now, and that is, in FPS you use mouse and keyboard, which you also do in MOBA.
That's true.
Makes absolute sense to me. Let's get into draft right now. We are going to be going to Hanamura Temple. We were just on Tomb of Spider Queen. Unfortunately, my entire map editor is just completely out of date for a best of 5. So we're going to skip over the map picks and bans. I'll just go through that really quickly, at least visually. So we have the Dragonshire Braxis holdout banned out by Illidancing Queens, as they opted for first pick priority for game number 1. The members of FC Hong Kong banned out Volskaya and Infernal Shrines and chose to take us to Tomb of Spider Queen for game number 1. Looks like this is going to be first pick, first ban coming, from the side of FC Hong Kong, which will mean that this is map pick priority coming out from Illidancing Queens, which I had to double check myself on that because I was like, that's pretty non-standard, but what do you think on that one?
Well, we're kind of into the weeds with the maps on these teams now. These teams have played by a large margin Infernal Shrines and Tomb of the Spider Queen all the time. And Infernal Shrines was banned, and we just played Tomb of the Spider Queen. So we're kind of in uncharted territory here on the maps, and I'm excited to see whether we've got some pocket picks coming out from these teams.
It's gonna be some swapping. Are they? Sorry, I had to double check who's on what side for a second. I was like, did they swap sides? Like, this is literally like the opposite draft for a second. But now we are going into this Li Ming, which the Li Ming pairs with the Diablo. Oh wow. Malfurion into the...
Malfurion's a nice pick up there.
Yep. You have trait into Li Ming as well with the, oh my god, Tranquility onto Li Ming for cooldown reduction on basic abilities, as well as the mana buff for them as well, or excuse me, mana return. It's going to be nice for the sustain for Li Ming during the team fights, and Diablo is just Diablo, so we're looking at a very aggressive composition from FC Hong Kong as we're already into our second ban phase. Probably is something... Oh, okay. I was thinking something solo-based, but they're going to go for the Cassia. Makes sense.
And Cassia Li Ming is just an absolute nightmare of damage. You've already got your Greymane picked up. I'd much rather face Li Ming Raynor than Li Ming Cassia, so I like that ban coming out from Illidancing Queens a lot.
I'm so I have to stop looking at chat. I looked over for a second. I was like, now I'm gonna cheer for this team because they have Greymane. It's like, all right, that's a good way to do it. I'll be honest though, there was a point in HGC where like someone picked Asmodee and I was like, this isn't a team I really care for, but I'm gonna root for them and I want them to win. They lost. They took all of the wrong talents at the time. So we don't have to talk about that pain that I experienced from HGC Korea as Anduin gets banned out on the right hand side from FC Hong Kong. We have 2 more picks coming out from the side of Illidancing Queens. Going to be the Orphea that was banned out in the previous game. I believe you noted that that's a comfort for the side of Sestron?
Yes, Sestron playing. This will be their 11th game on Orphea this season. And Lucio coming in from Born to Shine. I like that, especially on Hanamura Temple, because there's so much room between these lanes.
The speed boost also to get away from a lot of this just literal terrifying chaos on the side of FPS Hong Kong, or FC Hong Kong, is really good with that, Lucio. The speed boost is great. You also have sound barrier to kind of pause the fight because this team wants to burst and blow you up. So if you put a little bit of a barrier in there, a sound barrier, if you will, you could look to turn things around with Orphea at that point with the Greymane as well. But this needs to be a solo laner into the Diva. What are they opting for? Malthael? Yeah.
There's the Malthael. Strong pick here from Yotaru.
Yeah.
I have seen one very interesting matchup. Now, it's on the wrong team here, but when Geo is playing for FC Hong Kong, I see Thrall into Diva, and that's a surprisingly strong matchup that I don't get to see enough of, especially in the higher levels.
Is it Rolling Thunder, the level 1 that they take? Or do they take the green, blue, or red?
I usually see the Echo of the Elements, but just having the ranged poke and having the Feral Spirit to follow up destroying the mech makes that a really tough matchup for Diva.
That's what I was wondering. I was wondering if they were considering the Rolling Thunder for the mech 1v1 for also more sustain too, but even then Echo the Elements is still a great ability as well. So I would actually love to see Thrall into Diva more. I wonder why we don't, at least like at different levels, because I know Urel's considered countered by Diva, but we still see that to this day, so interesting enough. But either way, our drafts are through, our lobby's loaded, and we are into game number 2. On the left-hand side, we got the members of Illidancing Queens with Yotaru on the Malthael, Sestron on the Orphea, Jakebot on that ETC, Born to Shine on the Lucio, and Dax on that Greymane.
On the right and the red, we've got FC Hong Kong with Blackstormer on the Diva, Ronan playing Diablo, Nematode on the Li Ming, Cake on the Sylvanas, Tiny Notai is playing the Malfurion. I'm behind the gates. I sure hope I got that right.
No, I was actually like in the bottom left of my screen. You can kind of see Cake on that Li Ming, but yeah, there we go. We have everybody.
I missed it. Nematode's playing Sylvanas, Cake's on the Li Ming.
I was literally trying to get behind the wall. Like I was actually peering my own head. Like can I see who's on that hero? And that's why I paused for a second. I was like, what was born to shine? What haven't I called yet? Okay, they're playing healer. Perfect, easy. Regardless, we are here, Hanamura Temple, game number 2 in our best of 5 series for our semifinals in Division E. This is the winner is going to be able to go into the grand finals, and the loser going home, and potentially 4th, 3rd, however they want to consider that placing. I don't know if is there a 3rd, 4th place matchup for this? Or do they just kind of say, like, whatever?
Not an official one. Sometimes the teams will arrange one, but it won't be on the schedule.
Ah, got you. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what... Oh, it looks like someone had an emergency. Wow, wow. Just, I'm looking at this right now. Ronan, are you going to misclick stage dive this game? Solidarity? So are they saying that the stage dive in the last game was a misclick? Because that
would appear to be the call. Ronan was playing ETC.
Yeah, that's my guess as to what they were saying is like...
I was thinking up the Cosmic Brain strats.
Same, yeah. No,
are they gonna run some ganks? Are we gonna run some pinch?
I thought it was like 400 billion IQ, but no.
Oh goodness,
it's a misclick. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Either way. All right, let's get back into game.
You gotta just roll with the picks, and then you find out later. Total mistake.
All right, we are back into game. Let me get rid of that chat, and we are here. Still, sub 1 minute on Hanamura Temple as Jakebot eats a combo from Cake.
Going right down. Even at level 1, that Li Ming combo can be a little bit tough to deal with here.
Going into...
still going the globe quest on 1. It's going to be a little bit tough to farm those globes here on Hanamura Temple, so we may see the prog rock a little bit later in the game here for Illidancing Queens.
That's a very good point as well, yeah. It is not a rotation heavy base map. You do have a lot of camps that you can rotate and grab, so there's that factor as well. Speaking of camps, the true objective of the game is that Sentinel camp, which is up and available on that bottom left of the map and the top right. This is what at least every person I talk to, they consider this the real objective, because the objective kind of tickles the towers and the forts. This one sieges almost indefinitely, kind of like the shaman camps on Battlefield or Infernal Shrines.
Against Diva on the top camp. But here comes the rest of FC Hong Kong. Yotaro could be in some trouble. There goes Malthiel. Born to Shine trying to help out. But Lucio sent back into the reeds. Double kill for FC Hong Kong.
Oh man, so very well played from Cake right there to read the combo, and that's what we were talking about beforehand. Before we got into this game, I was mentioning like it's easy to point and click on a head for someone in an FPS, but when you go into a MOBA, to be able to have that mechanical prowess to blink and throw your magic missiles and your arcane orb, and then you get that reset, and you know that you can be able to throw out another combo instantaneously. It's just little things like that make big differences, and they were able to get the regeneration globe, so they had that power hungry value from level 1, and we're seeing dominance at 4 for, I believe, health and mana. No, it's just health return off of kills.
Ooh, FC Hong Kong not going to quite get here in time. Blackstormer trying to dismount Sestrin. The rest of FC Hong Kong going to go ahead and back off here. So a trade on the bosses. And then the secondary objective going to come on up in about 25 seconds here.
We'll see if they're able to push the cart around the map. Yotaro taking a lot of damage from Blackstormer in this top lane. And they're able to back off as Sestrin comes in as well. They're going to be able to clear out the Sentinel camp without any problem. We'll get a little bit of damage on that front gate, and it seems like that'll be even easier for the side of FC Hong Kong in bottom lane. 5's up on both sides. Objectives up in 4 seconds. Do they go for it, or is this just the race for 7?
We'll have to see what the priority is. Level 7 is very important for the next team fight here, but FC Hong Kong, they're on the high side of experience right now, so they may go for it. Looks like they're going to start pushing it towards bottom lane.
And these objective phases change per which team gets it. So control point B turn-in is actually going to be on the left side of the map, and then control point C is on the left side, but even more difficult for you to get because it's closer to the enemy team's core area. They're going to drop the mech explosion from Blackstormer. Jakebot's going to be caught inside of that. Actually is not hit whatsoever, and we're mostly seeing zoning for that as we get a little bit more distance on this cart, but can they find the actual objective turn-in?
Yotaro coming down from the top lane manages to avoid the shadow charge of Ronan. It looks like, a slide on through from Jakebot. Ronan could be in trouble here, but look at all that Sylvanas damage bleeding into the back line. Yotaro somehow able to get away, but with Diablo down. Can FC Hong Kong move forward? Jakebot's going to slide in once again.
Oh, Malthiel needs to watch out for those arcane orbs as everyone's reset city potential for this Li Ming, but a little bit can be said on the side of FC Hong Kong as they were getting a little low, and that chomp and that burst ability from Orphea would have been a threat, so they're going to respect it. They turn in, and they're going to go grab some camps. Let's see, we have Sentinel Camp up for them in 14 seconds. Left-hand side is going to be up in about 27. So it looks like... the one thing I'm wondering is, do they take the invade onto this, or are they just going to go their own? It seems like it's their own. Maybe?
Looking like the Vision Camp will be the first play. Illidancing Queen's going to have to watch out for a movement across. It looks like their clear is fast enough on this turret. Malthiel going to have to watch out here. Looks like FC Hong Kong just content to go back and take their Sentinel.
I would expect them to do the exact same thing on this left-hand side for Illidancing Queens.
Grabbing the site,
oh,
gonna
yeah,
head on over
absolutely,
to the boss.
When this map got reworked, because initially it actually had the giant boss in the middle. If no one remembers that, you actually couldn't go and end the game. You had to end the game, much like Towers of Doom. Oh, invade onto the camp.
Hong Kong coming in here.
Oh, and they literally just get to walk in, steal it, and walk away. That's a rough go. That's such a rough go for Illidancing Queens.
Luckily, we've got Orphea Greymane down here, going to clear that up real quick. But that's a lot of experience that is not going to go over to the side of Illidancing Queens here.
So let's see, I'm going to circle back to my point, because I want to talk about experience specifically. That was the one thing that a lot of teams came out and said is, you don't really win this map through the actual objective. You win it through the camps, and that's when the joke of the Sentinel Camp actually being the objective became kind of the joke, because it pushes just so much harder than the actual objective. But right now, we're seeing 3,000 experience for mercenaries on the left-hand side and 4,800 on the right, and we're not even 6 minutes into the game. That is a lot of experience just through camps, so that is a big priority for Hanamura Temples. They're going to find the Shadow Charge in onto Jakebot, but that is a... Oh, I thought they were able to get out alive. Born to shine so very low. Sestrin needs to back off here. They're actually going to dive in, and they're going to trade out the Orphea for the Li Ming.
Strong trade there from Sestrin. Probably not able to just walk away, and finds the kill onto Li Ming on the way out there. Born to Shine doing their best to keep everyone alive. We've still got the soak in the top lane from both our laners, but level 10's here for FC Hong Kong. We'll see what they can do with this push.
Seems like they got the turret with the Sylvanas Mercenary Queen affecting it. You can see that little bit of a golden glow around that little Sentinel Camp. They're going to lock down the tower for now, but I think this is more or less them just trying to get a damage onto it with the wave. With ETC power sliding in, they're going to back off, and we have 10s across the board. Li Ming back, everyone up and available, and we are seeing pretty much the standards for our heroics. Eternal Feast for the Orphea to note, but I'd say that's maybe the only one that is considered unstandard. I don't know. Like it's Crushing Jaws and Eternal Feast. It's you can go either or, in my opinion. It depends on the comp and the team fight.
Absolutely. And I think one thing we haven't really seen from Illidancing Queens right now is a 5-on-5 team fight, but it looks like we're about to get that. Yotaro pushed off this site camp, and Blackstormer could be in trouble here. Wailing Arrow from Sylvanas going to get the... Oh, look at that sound barrier. D.Va's going to go down. Sestrin just working on the outside. Gigantic chomps, followed up by the mosh pit. That's Malfurion down, and Greymane cannot be contained. Diablo gets the souls reset. Nematode and Cake are on the retreat. Oh, the slide available. Sylvanas waiting for another wave and will not get it. What was I saying about a 5v5 team fight there, Bahamut?
That's the first one we saw, I think, on even talent tiers and kind of an even battle area as well. It wasn't kind of a sneak. Actually, you know what? Blackstormer went for the flank, and they really got punished for it. So heads up play coming out from the side of Illidancing Queens to just recognize the flank and prioritize that target rather than the enemy team, or the other enemy members trying to rotate around. And I think they also might have made a slower wraparound rotation to the D.Va, so that allowed them to really punish Blackstormer. Either way, this is going to be shots raining out for the side of Illidancing Queens. I believe both teams have gotten one objective phase each thus far. And now we go back to our favorite, which is just rotating for camps, but Sentinel Camp up and available in the bottom left, and everyone's converging for this.
FC Hong Kong moving in very aggressively here. They are down a level. Jakebot and Sestrin just waiting for the pinch. Here comes Jakebot. Gonna try to slide away here. Sestrin still kind of caught out. Gonna use that Q to back on up, and it looks like the team's thinking about resetting.
Fight is
avoiding the poke there.
Fight is reset. Objective is reset. Seems like this is going to be the re-engage from the side of Illidancing Queens, as this is FC Hong Kong backing off and saying, we are falling behind in experience. We are too bloodthirsty. Let's go manage our lanes, pull that experience back, and let's even things up, as this is going to be a solid level lead for the side of Illidancing Queens after a massive team fight a few minutes ago going in their favor, as Black Stormer's really getting pushed around by Yotaru on top.
That constant pressure coming out from the Malthael is pretty tough to deal with this D.Va. There's a pretty hefty health pool. Oh no, Jakebot going in onto Ronan. Diablo on very low souls here. Gonna get picked off. Tiny Notai with the silence, but it's not gonna be enough. Nematode uses the Haunting Wave to get over the wall. Sound barrier just in case here from Born to Shine, but we've got a Sentinel on the fort here.
Eternal Feast comes out, gets one tick, and that's all that she wrote from that one, as the fort goes down as well. And the members of Illidancing Queens begin their momentum and the shift in their favor, as this game really spun on its head for a second, and it went over to the side of Illidancing Queens. FC Hong Kong had a strong start, but seems like 10 Plus has really built the momentum for this blue team.
Absolutely. They found the kills in their team fights, and now they're just doing the Hanamura shuffle. Partying across the map, stealing Sentinel, stealing Sight. Now they're moving up onto Blackstormer here.
D.Va playing a little bit safe here. Yotaru's trying to bait them out into this lane. Here, let me get the D.Va vision set up for everyone on stream so you can actually see what D.Va's seeing, because everyone's in the bush. Born to Shine and Cestern just showed for a second. So D.Va playing that safe and smart right there, but right now they're pushing hard into top lane. I think they see that the Sentinel camp's up, so they want to try and force them to fight over this, and this is a little risky for the side of Illidancing Queens, as Cake's coming in, but they're gonna back off as the Li Ming throws in a combo.
Getting away just in time there as Ronan was looking for a pin. Still on low souls is Diablo. Just like it's tough to find the regen globes if you're ETC right now, it's a little bit tough to find extra souls if you're Diablo.
ETC, though, on that note, will finish out their proc rock from level 1, 11 minutes or so into this game. Actually, 11-11, perfectly on time for them. But we are also 13 talent tier up, 15 to 14 in levels, as we did have that earlier couple picks going over to the side of Illidancing Queens. And is FC Hong Kong looking for the push, or are they trying to close that gap? And it's closing that experience gap and looking for maybe a new team fight? I don't think they're gonna... They either gotta do something now before 16, or turtle up while they look for 16.
Illidancing Queens just getting all the XP they can. I'm not sure they're going to find 16 before this next fight. Jakebot moving around the outside, trying to stall out these shots. Looks like they will get here in time. There's the slide. The next fight is now. Blackstormer getting caught on the outside, throwing out those micro missiles. Oh, Apocalypse not going to land here. Ronan moving in to try to flip on over Greymane. Silence, fantastic there from Malfurion. Malthael actually going to go down here before the sound barrier lands, but what a sound barrier it is as Sylvanas and Diablo go down. D.Va being chased away. Dax is in, and there goes D.Va. Illidancing Queens once again ruling the roost here on post-10 team fights.
Really good control coming out from Illidancing Queens in these fights. Just like, yes, we lost one, but we're still able to bounce back and get these kills. That's being able to control the fight the way that they have been in this game number 2 is really showing that this is not going to be a 3-0 series for anybody. I think we're at least going to go 1-up after this game. It's feeling with the momentum they built for Illidancing Queens. But it is still anyone's game. This is Here's the Storm. Hitting 16 talent here is still a massive power spike for FC Hong Kong. Is that enough for them to find a winning team fight? The other thing, too, is they have to find a winning team fight with an even talent tier, and that's a half a level away. So until then, I think they're going to eat shots in top lane from this objective. Delaying this out, I don't think is worthwhile personally.
Doesn't look like they're going to move in. They know that they're down 16 talents. Cake just going to throw out some abilities from afar. And here come the shots for Illidancing Queens. Top Sentinel up in 20 seconds here. That could be the next point of engagement, though. I don't know if FC Hong Kong has 16 in time to stop this.
D.Va recognizing that they're so far out, not seeing where the enemy team is going to get the micro missiles. They boosted back. Curse Bullet, that's an entire mech gone. They're going to get the Torpedo Dash. That's going to be the last rights coming out as well, which is going to have not a lot of damage. Blackstormer's doing their best to run away, and they're just going to auto to their death. And that is going to be a dead D.Va who was just a little too far out in top lane.
That might have been the first single-digit damage last rights I've ever seen. It is just enough to get that kill, as the Sentinel camp will be taken here. And Illidancing Queens just keeps on rolling.
More experience in their book, and they're also going to be, well, they're going to have to fight against a team that'll find 16s here in just a second. Next objective phase is probably a minute or two away, so until then, let's see, what are our camps looking like? We have a minute on our Sentinel camp for bottom, got a minute 30 on our fortification. We just saw the Sentinel on the right go, and we just saw the fortification on the left go as well. So right now, I doubt the side of Illidancing Queens really wants a fight because they just want to continue to soak up and get close to 20, but if I'm sitting on the side of FC Hong Kong, I'm itching to try and make something happen for my team, and doesn't seem like that's really what they want to go for. They want to gain a little bit more map control visually with this Sentinel or this recon camp, and then maybe going for something, or they'll just back off.
They are running out of time here. They're down 2 levels, but these are, if you're going to be down two levels, these are the 2 levels to be down. Right now, it looks like FC Hong Kong is just trying to get their vision back, trying to get caught up on this soak. Illidancing Queens, I'd like to see them shark around a little bit more. It looks like they're just playing for level 20 here. Not a bad plan, since the impetus is really on FC Hong Kong to find the next fight.
And the issue right now, I'm looking right here too, is Black Soulstones for Diablo, 53. They probably don't want to find a fight without that revive or that full soul on Diablo, and that's partly giving this experience gap or this momentum back over to the side of Illidancing Queens in this game. They are playing into Illidancing Queens, and they're not playing their own game, it seems. They're being responsive to a lot of the things that are being thrown at them. So finding some sort of fight that's good for them is big, but Ronan, you are very far forward, my friend, with the enemy team missing on map.
Ronan moving right up there. Illidancing Queens sees the opportunity. They're trying to stay off vision here. This could be trouble for FC Hong Kong. Jakebot and crew are coming on down. Blackstormer gets the Reaper's Mark put on. Ronan somehow able to get away there. Illidancing Queens are saying, okay, if it's not the perfect engage, we're happy to wait for 20.
But this is where I think they gotta force it. The FC Hong Kong, you gotta look for something here. You've got your Sylvanas, and I believe they have their Black Arrows up and available. They do, so they can lock down the tower if they want to go for that. They could easily enough burn down this tower, but I think they're worried about the potential dive burst from the enemy team. And that's funny to say because it's dive burst from them that the enemy team should be worried about. But since there have been so many kills given over, the experience gap has formed, and now they're playing safe and a little scared, I'll be honest. They're a little trepidatious about trying to step into this enemy team.
Absolutely. Looks like they're going to move back, try to grab their Sentinel while they have the opportunity. Illidancing Queen's so close to level 20 here. All they really need is a camp or two, and they've got their Storm talents. It looks like FC Hong Kong is just going to go ahead and give up level 20.
Unfortunately, that is going to be the case here. Objective is stalled out in the middle of the map as well. D.Va boosting in. They're going to boost back. They do have their micro missiles, and they have a mecha explosion, but I think they recognize that this is not their fight to have. Diablo still 81 souls and rising onto that one, but with that, that's the 20 talent tier in tow for the side of Illidancing Queens, and they're going to play the map, grab objectives, grab a fourth,
Fourth turret here behind.
Yeah,
My goodness.
I was like, am I counting the one that's on the objective, or does someone else have one of these? Nope, someone else has them. So, a lot of turrets, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I've, honest to God, watched games where teams just run around with turrets the entire time and never drop them.
Illidancing Queens. Now clearly the impetus is on them. They've got 20 to 18. The longer they wait, the closer to level 20 FC Hong Kong gets. And here they go. Cake is definitely caught out here. Jakebot wants a slide. Slide is good onto Li Ming. The damage starting to catch up. Ooh, fantastic teleport. That's going to be it for Li Ming. Just so much damage despite the silence arrow from Sylvanas. Illidancing Queens has their 45 seconds. Let's see what they do with it here.
This is an opportune time to push up this objective, and I was just about to say, split your Greymane. Greymane's going to go grab the Sentinel camp, utilize their turret as well to have some sustained damage on this on top of their own to speed things up. And this is the Sentinel camp taking its long meandering, all the way to control point C. So this is what we were talking about earlier, how it is a little bit more of a difficult path when you are pushing towards the C. It just takes a little bit longer, and it is on the enemy side of the map as D.Va finds a bit of some damage with those micro missiles, but they're not able to set up a kill.
Long gamble there. Oh, slide is good onto Sylvanas. Nematode trying to get away here. The Haunting Wave is out, but Yotaru's on the chase. Last right's gonna land. It's gonna be just enough. And that's a trickle death. Still the siege start here for Illidancing Queens.
Well, siege is happening in bottom lane for sure, and now, yes, they're going for this objective as well. This has just been a slow burn for the side of Illidancing Queens throughout this game. While they did have a bit of a stumble at the start with the aggression from the enemy side, they really found their stride at level 10 and have kept it since, with a 14-5 in kills for this game number 2 in this best-of-5 series as the shots shoot out for bottom lane. And what is it looking like for the side of Illidancing Queens? Another Sentinel camp for top lane.
Top Sentinel taken, and I think it's now or never. You've got to go for this keep. 15 seconds till Sylvanas is back. The Sentinel chopping down the lane here. Can JakeBot find another slide and possibly look to end this game? Because we're almost to level 20 here for FC Hong Kong.
Eternal Feast is up as well, so if they get a Mosh Eternal Feast combo, that'll be big. So watch to see JakeBot probably initiate the slide, and then look for the Eternal Feast immediately after that. This is going to be, there it is, on to actually not, no, they actually get away. I thought they were going to drop that just onto Nematode to be able to get the single target kill, but it's not the case. They get the mech, and that's actually going to be Greymane going down. Wailing Arrow did come out. Yotaro's so very low, is not going to get hit by the core. Actually gets hit with the Unkillable. The Summer Anthem from that Lucio was picked up.
JakeBot is committing here.
Yeah.
The rest of Illidancing Queens are starting to retreat. 35%, that's it for ETC. 25% as the catapult fires away.
Wow.
That's a tough one there for Illidancing Queens. They give up level 20, they don't get the core. Don't get me wrong, they've got all sorts of space to deal with here. Got all sorts of time to get back. That hurts.
I'm just still so blown away by the Summer Anthem, because it's not something we see ever, and I think it was June picked it up, or Hyde might have picked it up for Sidestep Kings in a game ages ago. I think it was for the Icebreaker tournament, potentially, and yeah, we're seeing it here, and that Unkillable might have saved the Malthael, but still, they got out, and now this is looking like Illidancing, excuse me, dear lord, FC Hong Kong wants to try and push them through bottom lane. They need to make sure they watch top, because they only got 25% on that core, albeit a pretty decent shield there as well.
They're going to steal this Sentinel to try to use it to draw fire from these cannons. Still 7 seconds on ETC. Illidancing Queens have to be so careful here to not get any deaths. They can hold here, they can wait for ETC, but this keep's going to go down.
I think you give keep, and you actually, you know what? You look to stall this out because you've got Catapult in your favor on the core on the opposing side. There's going to be an ETC Power Slide. Mosh was interrupted. It's on a 3-second cooldown. Actually just got its full cooldown right there. And Eternal Feast was used. Keep is going to go down to the micro missiles, but they need to make something happen here. The longer they stay on the side of FC Hong Kong, they're going to lose this game, and they need to recognize that because the catapults are there on their core. Mech Explosion comes out.
Catapults are blocked in here.
Stormers trying to get away. They're going to Hearth, and that's going to be last rites from the Diablo, but I think the catapults are going to take this game. There's no way that D.Va can even get back in time.
D.Va's back. It's not going to be enough here, Bahamut. Illidancing Queens take it 1-1 in the series.
GG's, as we are up 1 for both sides. It's not a 1-0 series, or excuse me, a 3-0 series. Really well played overall. Really, really well played. Yeah, no, honestly said it in chat. IQ, draw it out with Winions. Exactly. Also, Orphea with 6 kills and 9 assists. Very nice in that game.
Sestrin showing that prowess on the Orphea. I'd expect that to go right back into the bans here for FC Hong Kong. Not quite the ending I expected to that game, but Illidancing Queens definitely played well enough there to deserve that win.
Oh, absolutely. They controlled, as I said in the game, and I'll say it again, they controlled the game's pace, the team fights, the map in general, post-10. Their team fight was just really, really good. The heroics enabled them to be even more devastating, and 13s really did a lot for them. We often talk about the level 16 big boost for teams, but 13, like, you've got inevitable end for the Malthael, you have got the Encore for the ETC, on the Prowl for the Greymane, as well as the Abyssal Symbiosis for that Orphea, and yeah, Heavy Casters for that Lucio was picked up. It's just, it's that was such a big power spike for them, and you can kind of say that for the opposing side too, because you have that oh god, what is it called? Good to Go. I was like, I can't remember what but for D.Va, like, you get a couple extra abilities, and that was allowing her to have that torpedo dash.
Cold Embrace there. Illusionist comes online.
Really, really well played from both sides, but controlled and pacing set by Illidancing Queens as they go up 1 1 in our best of 5 series. For anyone that is wondering, this is a series to push someone into the grand finals. If you lose, you are out. That is your season. I am sorry. GG's. Also, really quickly, want to say thank you to Fuji for the raid. I hope you had a wonderful stream, and thank you to the person who shouted them out in chat. Very much appreciated. I hope you're all enjoying the content this evening. Make sure you hit exclamation point co-caster to be able to catch Crushinator on all of their social media platforms. I believe I just have Twitter and Twitch in there, but still, follow them on
Those
everywhere.
are the big ones.
Yik Yak, TikTok, LinkedIn. Where else are you?
Hit me up on MySpace.
Okay, Cupid.
Cupid.
You're only Crushinators, right? Yeah, you're only Crushinators.
Me and my 2 robot sisters are there on Only Crushinators. Come on out and subscribe.
It's all right. It's like my only knees. Like, yeah. But we are going to wait for another map. These players are going to have to choose that, and one of the players might run to the bathroom. I feel, honest to God, I don't know if you've ever casted Illidancing Queens a ton, but I feel like every single time I cast them, one of their players has to consistently poop in between games. And maybe that's TMI for some of the chat, but like, I swear to God, every single time we get into a lobby, it's like, sorry for the wait, X had to go to the bathroom, and then there's like a poop joke, and I'm like, do you all just have to, like, is it the nerves of the game? What is it?
You gotta be ready beforehand. Remember your grade 3 teacher. You gotta go in between classes. But you know, sometimes life happens. It's okay.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. Sometimes you get nervous. Sometimes you're in a series and you're unsure if you're gonna win. So you gotta take those nervous poops. But we are getting ready for lobby. Born to Shine, I can see, is currently making said lobby. So we'll go ahead and join off of them in just a second once they get that in there. Yes, exactly. Tuna in chat. Dax, stop pooping. I like how chat instantly just calls
Simply
out Dax.
cease.
Yeah.
5-head, just stop. What are you talking about?
Just don't have to do the things that your human body has to do. Yeah, gross. Don't do them.
Deny.
We are going into our third map, and we are going to see that as Battlefield of Eternity. Looking like, yeah, there we go. We have a lobby coming up for us. So Battlefield, we are going from macro-based maps. You know, Hanamura Temple's kind of in between. Like, Hanamura's a bit of a hybrid, because it's a small map, a lot of team fights, but you do kind of have your solo lane, 4-man sort of setup for a bit. But Battlefield is a lot more micro-based, in my opinion. Yes, there's that macro aspect of pushing and lane pressure during the actual objective phase, but like when we get to the actual 1v1s, there's a lot of skirmishing here. Does this change the playstyle for either teams, do you think?
Based on the comps I've seen so far, we've got strong team fight coming out from both teams, not a lot of shenanigans in the off lanes. There is an opportunity for that on Battlefield. Like you said, Hanamura, somewhat similar, but there's a lot more sort of map stuff that you end up having to do as a team. Battlefield, you can kind of leak out a solo laner, kind of leak out an ambusher. So I'm interested to see whether we get something like, you know, a Maiev that was banned in the first game, something that can come around the outside and harass people here on Battlefield of Eternity, because there's so much playing around with vision that is different on Battlefield here rather than Hanamura.
I wonder if we actually see Illidan. That's my blunt question. Do we actually see Illidan from Illidancing Queens? Because I feel like I've cast them a few times and I don't see Illidan, and it's a little disappointing. It's like when you cast ban Cho and no one bans or picks Cho. It's like, why did I pick up your team? I could just go cast.
To Bunker Fun Time and they're picking Combustion, and you
it's just like, what are you doing? That'd be like me naming my team like only Asmodan and then never playing Asmodan. Like, hello?
Oh. It is possible. I mean, if you're talking about Illidan on Battlefield, there is Illidan stuff to do. Sometimes you see heroes like Raynor or Greymane sneaking around to the top lane to try to steal a camp. That's Illidan business. Getting siege on the walls while everyone else is on the objective. Illidan stuff to do there. You can definitely build the comp, and there's enough room for Illidan to kind of dance around the edges and hunt in when it's time.
Remember the joke we were making about this? It's literally yeah. So someone's actually running to the bathroom. I was seeing someone saying like, I drink a lot of water when I play. No, I get that. I'm not trying to shame anybody, but it's just like it's like each person on the team waits in between games. It's just one person. I love it. No, it's
let's
great.
Blame Dax again. Let's not.
Oh, it's Dax. Yeah, no, it is. It's 100% Dax.
I mean, I gotta tell you though, there's nothing worse than realizing in like minute 2 that you really should have gone beforehand.
Oh,
And
there's
you gotta.
there's been countless casts where like we load into the game and I'm like, I have 30 minutes before I can go to the bathroom. All right, here we go. Like this is
Time
yep,
to deal with it.
time to just deal with it. But we are going to be going to Battlefield of Eternity here. Looks like first pick priority was chosen by Illidancing Queens, and map pick priority was chosen by the members of FC Hong Kong, if I'm reading this correctly.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of map pick priority. So for anyone wondering, while we are waiting for these players to hit the go button for us, so the members of Illidancing Queens are the higher seeded team in our best of 5 series as we are in the playoff format for NGS. So they have the choice of either first pick or map pick priority for the series to start off the series. And they opted for first pick priority for game number 1. They went ahead and banned out Dragonshire and Braxis Holdout, as we had Volskaya Foundry banned out by the side of FC Hong Kong, as well as Infernal Shrines. Tomb of Spider Queen was that first map, won by FC Hong Kong. The members of Illidancing Queens opted for map pick priority for game number 2, choosing to take us to Hanamura Temple. And now, the losing team, once again, well, I guess the losing team here, FC Hong Kong, opting for map pick priority for game number 3 onto Battlefield of Eternity, giving first pick over to the side of Illidancing Queens. What is the game plan for FC Hong Kong? Is it aggression? Is it map priority? Because so far in the games that I've casted, at least in CCL, players that go for map pick priority race potential essentially versus teams that go into dive or aggressive team fighting compositions tend to win out more. So if you play the map, I feel you tend to lose because you're missing mechanical factors for the team fight the enemy wants to bring to you. But those are draft synergies. That's a completely different division, a completely different play style. Let's get into our Division E here, where we have a Gazlo first ban.
Sticking with the same bans, looks like, for our 2 teams. I'm interested to see, I want to see FC Hong Kong. I want to see them take the Li Ming. I don't, looking at the heroes here, I don't see Illidancing Queens picking that up first pick. I see them taking Greymane. But I always say Li Ming is the best of both worlds when it comes to Battlefield. You want some race, Li Ming brings it. You want the team fight, Li Ming's got that covered.
Yep.
And not having to commit in that early pick is, I think, very, very important here.
Well, another Maiev ban, unfortunately, and I also was looking at the all chat a little bit, and it was someday I'll get to play Stukov, says Born to Shine.
Just too good.
That's what happens when you when you're good on something. Just don't be good on it, Born to Shine, and there's going to be the snap.
Queens takes it.
There's the snap onto it you were talking about, and I agree with you. But is it worth the first pick priority is the question, because you have things like Greymane, you have things like Raynor, you have things like Vala, you have things like Cassia, Lunara. There's a lot of options here. Why the Li Ming? What's the synergistic core value that they want from her outside of the couple things we noted beforehand? They're going to grab this Malfurion once again, and there's going to be a Vala. Albeit, she's a little bit kind of in between. She does facilitate 2 really strong heroic pickups, whether you want more damage or if you want a little bit of CC with that Reign of Vengeance. So we'll see what they go with for those ones as we get a next 2 picks coming out from Illidancing Queens. Thoughts on those 2 picks?
I was fully expecting the Diablo lock-in from FC Hong Kong. If Diablo, it's going to be ETC Greymane. I was thinking Diablo Deckard was coming out with that Li Ming, and that was going to be all sorts of trouble. But this is a different kind of trouble. We've got a classic double reset comp over on the side of Illidancing Queens, and they've shown that they know how to get that ETC Greymane blow-up.
I already like the Illidancing Queens draft right now, and they're going to ban out the Anduin. It was played in game number 1 with some very strong moments as well. The Chastise is connected really, really well. The Divine Stars were on point as well. But we're going to Battlefield with the current composition they have. They could go Rhaegar Bloodlust, but that's, I think, a little bit of a stretch on my end. So we still actually could see Ana for the side of Illidancing Queens, and this would probably be a main tank ban from the side of Illidancing Queens into the opposing side, maybe getting rid of that Diablo and forcing them onto something that they haven't seen.
Interesting. Tassadar ban.
I wonder if they're afraid of the Diablo Tassadar combo with the Force Wall Diablo Shadow Charge. Maybe? Poke potential burst?
That is a strong combination. Tassadar, good poke onto backliners like Greymane. And also just a good wave clear option that maybe they figured they can jump onto a Kael'thas, jump onto a Gul'dan a little bit easier. Speaking of wave clear, Johanna, Jaina, goodness gracious, picked up there. That's a lot of blow up paired with that Malfurion.
Blessed Shield into Ring of Frost, Rain of Vengeance. Like, I don't even know if you need Rain of Vengeance. You might be able to go spinny shooty shot, as we like to call it here, or strafe if you want to be some sort of Nexus nerd. But Li Ming, ETC, Greymane. The reason I was saying Ana is because you have nano boosted Li Ming. Why not? That's great. You also have healing reduction from the Malfurion, so you can use that Bio Grenade for that one. Sleep Dart's good setup for the Greymane as well, but they're gonna opt themselves for a Lucio. It was really, really well played in that last game, and they get a Zool for their solo, and that'll be a Yrel matching into them. Solo lane wise, what do you think here, Crush, between the Zool and the Yrel?
I think it often comes down to a skill matchup there. Yrel has the tools to evade Zool's stuff. Like, you have the Hand of Freedom to get out of the Bone Prison. You've got the slows that Zool has a tough time dealing with. But the wave clear coming out from Zool, if Zool gets on that wave an instant before Yrel does, I think Yrel's going to be in trouble.
We'll have to see what happens here as we're going to load into game number 3 in our best of 5 series. Thank you all once again for joining us for this. This is the Division D. I will keep wanting to give like a region like West or East, but Division D for Nexus Gaming Series. This is the playoff matchup. The winner of this best of 5 goes into the grand finals, loser goes home, and that is the end of their season 10, correct? Are we season? I'm blanking right now.
Season 10.
It is season 10, right? I'm not crazy. It's not season 9? I've been doing this for so long I can't even remember, but either way, let's go ahead and get on into game number 3. On the left-hand side, we got the members of Illidancing Queens up 1 in this best of 5. We got Yotaru on the Zool. We are going to be seeing ETC played by JakeBot. Dax will be on that Greymane. Sestrin will be on the Li Ming, and Born to Shine on the Lucio. I want to point out one quick thing here, Crush. They've really ruined their mount synergies since the game number 1. Everyone game number 1 had dollar bills. Now we're just all over the place. Anyways.
We got the Li Ming tentacles, we got the Lucio, we forgot the mount. But on the right in the red, FC Hong Kong, Tiny No Tai on the Malfurion, Cake is going to be playing the Jaina, Ronan on Johanna, Nematode on the Vala, and up top Blackstormer playing that Yrel.
When we get into our lanes, we do have Yrel versus Zool, so no shenanigans for quick rotations, potential burns onto a tower. We don't have a Sylvanas for any of that fun, so no stinky cheese on this Battlefield of Eternity. Do we see any sort of priority onto potentially sniping a well is another question I have. But we'll see what happens with that as the game just progresses. This is just going to be core 4 on bottom and solos into top.
It is tough now that they have the 75% shielding on the well, but it is possible. One thing that I'm noting in this format is ETC is going to have to be so careful with an engage into a Malfurion Jaina. If JakeBot goes in, I don't know if he's coming back out.
This is just like everyone sitting in bushes waiting to see who steps a little too far forward right there. As it was a lot of abilities used, but really Ronan just took a wee bit of damage and steps back into lane. I want to just jump into the top lane because Yotaru's going down to half health, and Blackstormer, even though they are going to be locked down, they seem to really not care about this Zool too much. So we'll do our best to keep an eye on that one if they manage to 1v1 a little further. Until then, I think we're going to see a potential skirmish over this camp.
Both teams trying to keep an eye on it here. Nematode playing with the vision. There's Dax just throwing out the cocktails on cooldown, saying, this is my shrub. Now JakeBot being pressured out a little bit. Fall is stepping way forward. Will JakeBot move on in? Again, it's so daunting to move into that Malfurion Jaina that Vala's got all the time in the world to move on up there.
Look at this anchoring from Ronan. You also have the roots from Malfurion to make sure that they don't step in. Huge condemn to pull them back while the friendly team will work on this camp. Nematode is going to be able to poke them a little bit with that Vala as well. They are going to be that puncturing arrow at level 1. Monster Hunter at level 1. Puncturing arrow will be coming in about a half a level. And speaking of things coming, we have our first immortal phase popping up at 3 minutes. So I'm looking at the counter trying to do caster math and it wasn't happening, but we got about 45 seconds for that to be contested. Until then, this is what I was about to say. We might see a rotation for a camp.
Generally around 2 minutes, the teams start thinking about moseying over in that direction. Looks like FC Hong Kong are jumping right on top of that. We'll see whether they let it fly early or if they're going to delay here. The left side now being worked on by Illidancing Queens. Checking back in on the top lane. Yeah, Yotaru on the Zool. Having a little bit of trouble there, so Blackstormer doing a great job in the Yrel on levels 1 to 4 there.
Oh, absolutely. Just controlling the lane as Yrel does so very well. And now, Out of curiosity, because you're saying when do they step on these? When do you step on the objective, or not the objective, on the shaman camp? Because I aim for about 245 in game if I can. I feel like
245, I think it gives you enough time to go and get in position. It's reasonable enough because you're balancing positioning with timing.
Yes.
Because if you wait too late, the other team's just in position, and that's bad.
Ooh, good medallion from
Dax.
Dax.
Too early, then the position's not that important. Oh, Jakebot sliding on through here. Blackstorm are able to get away. Somehow, everyone's still alive there on the side of Illidancing Queens. Ton of damage coming on out from FC Hong Kong as the teams look to reset here.
Good healing from Born as there's a power slide to get them out. A little bit of burst from Vala. There's going to be a root onto Ronan, who pops the Iron Skin, continues to step into the enemy team. That's going to be Blackstormer looking for the slows, but they're going to be forced back by the Lucio Soundwave. Right now, they're still defending. They haven't thrown anyone towards the enemy objective, and that's going to be Vala going for it immediately. They have that level 4, so they're going to do their best to burn this down. With that happening, they're going to try and step back on us. Jakebot with a massive power slide through a few. There's going to be a root from Malfurion to zone some back. They've also got those strangling vines to reduce the healing. Blackstormer trying to live and just keep giving themselves armor, as that's Dax diving in with a Dark Flight, trying to live. The Righteous Hammer will save them for now.
Jakebot continuing to slide on through. Cake gonna have to pop that medallion to get on out of there. We're at the halftime here. A valiant defense coming on out from the members of FC Hong Kong, but a lot of people backing right now. We're gonna have to see how this race goes. Nematode is locked on here, so that should be a lot of the race, but look how quickly that Immortal is going down on the side of Illidancing Queens. This is going to be super close here, Bahamut.
This is looking like the Greymane really just chunking into this with the help of the Li Ming, but they're going to get roughly 3,181 shielding on Belith as they move into top lane. For anyone wondering how we know it's top lane, the Immortal will always prioritize the most well-defended lane. So bottom has a sliver of damage or a little bit of damage onto one tower. Top lane is fully defended, as that's a power slide onto Blackstormer, who's a little far out. Nice Righteous Hammer. And it seems like the members of FC Hong Kong are looking to do a bit of a double split here. This is a little non-standard, but they're going to try and get double front gate overall, and they might be able to get a little bit more in bottom lane.
They get a little bit of that stored XP out of these walls. They're up 7-6 right now. Jakebot can't quite find Cake there. But it looks like the forts will be saved. Objective going down in the top lane. Yrel just doing Yrel things, staying alive. Oh, sliding on through. Look at Cake just getting hit by that tower. A little bit unfortunate there. Counter kill onto Jakebot is going to come on through.
Nice play.
Good job controlling the space from both teams.
Good hold on Ronan to be able to utilize the Iron Skin just as the tower shots are coming out. Sestrin poking at the bush right there to see if they're on the camp, but they won't get that vision unless they throw another one. And, well, they'll know in a second once the camp actually pops up. Being picked up by the side of FC Hong Kong. I'm watching minimap and seeing Blackstormer in this top lane. I'm seeing Dax rotate up as well. Yotaro's up here. Are they looking to try and lock them down and find a kill? Oh no, Dax is taking the longest rotation to not show that they're going for this camp. Really, like, even though it's a longer rotation, it's going to take them more time. They're actually just setting up for this potential... No, okay, they're going for the camp. Really well played. Yeah. Just that long rotation gives them no information outside of if the bottom team has said, hey, we don't see Greymane.
Doing that Greymane sneaky business in the top lane, but looks like that may be discovered as it's going to be a 4v3 push in the bottom lane. Fort taking a lot of damage here, but once again, Jakebot sliding on through. Gonna force FC Hong Kong to try to reset that aggro.
Looking for...
this Khazra camp, I think this is gonna go down. Oh, the minion wave arrives just in time.
Khazra camp got it quite low there. We're probably looking at somewhere here. Let's pop this up. 1,071 HP on that. Fort in the bottom lane, as we are going to be seeing bruisers on the left grab, not on the right. And I'm actually going to go ahead and cycle. Oh wait, no, Ronan for the invade. This is way too late. Unfortunately, they're going too slow on this one.
Can they catch Sestrin? Born to Shine moving out as well. Uh-oh, Lucio. We'll slide on through from Jakebot. Where's the rest of the team though? ETC trying to retreat. Greymane coming on in, and it looks like it's going to be a 5v5 on the defense on the left-hand side. Both teams so close to level 10. Who is going to leak out their solo laner first?
As a power slide onto one, a lot of damage, but they pop their Iron Skin and the Bone Prison will be mitigated by that one. But they are in a bit of a timer for this bottom lane, as this is going to be Shaman Camp pushing in, and Yrel considering to come down here, but this is what we talk about all the time. The moment Yrel goes onto that onto that camp, look to see the side of Illidancing Queen step in onto this. And actually, no, I misread the minimap. I didn't see Zool going into top lane, so it's 4v4. Neither one wanting to step into each other as 10 talent tiers across the board. The one thing I do want to note on that one, we are having Water Elemental for the Jaina, no Ring of Frost.
Looking for that consistent damage on the edges, try to complete those chase kills. Jakebot able to get away there from the Condemn. Dax moving on up. Here comes the Water Elemental onto the back line. Gonna start wailing away on the members of Illidancing Queens. Yotaro, gotta be careful there, taken down to half health by Nematode.
Cake needs to be... Ooh, that was a really good power slide. Curse Bullet as well. They pop the Condemn. There's a silence from Tiny. And a lot of buttons pressed, but no one going down. Maybe a miss button press right there from Yotaro as the the Poison Nova is fired out, and now we just go straight into race, and unfortunately for the side of Illidancing Queens, they realize it a little bit too late. They are going to lose the second race of the game.
Bit of a zoning Nova there coming on out from Zool, perhaps expecting FC Hong Kong to continue the chase. Unfortunately, it's going to be another minute before Zool has that tool again.
So we hold for now. I'm skimming through some of the other heroics to see if anything stands out, but oh no.
Illidancing Queens coming on down to the bottom lane, predicting the split, but there's the Iron Skin going to deny the Bone Prison again. It's just going to be Greymane and Yrel in the top lane.
They, I think, just want the fort. They want to try and go for this double structure, and with the second Belith in top lane, they should be able to get it. They're actually are they gonna stay in bottom? I was seeing them mount up, and I was wondering, do they make the rotation to top? Belith will finish this out, so what is Yrel gonna do? I think are they gonna join the friendly team? What's the game plan right now? Is Water Elemental's procced in bottom lane and already killed off, and front gate's gonna take some damage.
Yrel hanging hard before coming on down to the bottom lane here. Looks like the rest of FC Hong Kong is on the retreat, and the Immortal will be taken down in the top lane. FC Hong Kong just continuing to extend their advantage here on Battlefield.
Camp easily grabbed for bottom lane. Zool pushing at the top. This is Yrel seeing them, and they know they're 5v5, and, excuse me, 4v5, so I think they back off and they respect it.
Zool looking to possibly sneak a camp in the top lane. Thinking about going, will commit.
Jake, this
Ronan committing as well. Sestron trying to blink away. Jakebot, what a slide through. Great disengage there from ETC.
That was a sweaty moment. I was honestly, there's just mom spaghetti everywhere. Just, I don't know if you're going to make it out of there, ETC, but they're fine. 13 talent tiers right around the corner for both of these teams. Zool going to top lane. I think there was a call to say leave that camp because they're all rotating to top, and that Zool gets out just in time as Jaina finishes their level 1 questing talent to be able to get that 10% frostbite damage increase as well as the mana regeneration overall.
Yotaro in and out of there like a bandit, going to allow Illidancing Queens to siege in the bottom lane. FC Hong Kong going to ping pong around here. Well, actually not going to go down.
It's got 250 HP.
Shielding going to regenerate.
It's got 250 HP. That's all it's got. And there's the shield coming back onto it.
Shield back.
That's
so
that.
Clear away that top lane as the Shaman camps are picked up once again.
13's up on both sides. We're even talent tiers. Immortals are in the next 10 seconds. Good timing on these camps, actually, from both teams. This is what you and I were talking about earlier in the game, and I really like where they got it, because this is early enough where they have it getting into lane, but it's not in the lane as the Immortal spawns. You want it kind of getting into that lane as the Immortal spawns, because now the enemy team has to make the decision. Do I race or do I go for this clear? They're going to go for the race on both of these sides, as the Immortals are going to be spawning to the aggressive side. So Belith on the right, Ilarion on the... Belith on the left and Ilarion on the right. They're now going to move spots. It's 13 up on both sides. All of our heroics are off cooldown. Crush, is there a fight to happen?
We're in defensive positions, so we're going to see who moves up first. The last time we were in defensive positions, Li Ming was the counter, but Jakebot somehow staying alive, but there's the Blessed Shield to re-engage, and there goes ETC. Born to Shine going to secure the retreat of the team, but they're not going to be able to continue with this defense, and it's going to be a pretty healthy Immortal going over to the side of FC Hong Kong.
Belith will move into bottom lane if I'm not mistaken. I'm just peeking around the map right now. I do believe they will move into bottom lane. Jurel saves the tower in bottom lane from the Shaman camp. Unfortunately, they won't be able to save their wells. I just saw that explode. Now, is this a game-ending push for FC Hong Kong? It's very early in the game. We're 12 minutes in, so this Immortal will scale to the 12 or 13-minute mark. Don't know which one it's actually going to choose right there. I think it's 12 minutes. Either way, it's 5v5, 14's up. Most of the heroics are still up and available for these teams. Is this enough to end? Because I feel like if they can find a kill or two on the side of FC, they could be taking this in a 2-1 fashion, moving into that game number 4.
Could be. I'm waiting for this Poison Nova to hit, though. Yotaru, thinking about it. There it goes. Ronan gonna get hit here. Oh, Dax exploding Vala in the bottom lane. So that's gonna be the possible end of the game there. But this Immortal, still healthy, pushing into this bottom keep here, Bahamut.
Little anti-synergistic value coming out from the Righteous Hammer into the Jaina Blizzard right there. They actually knocked a couple members out from a second wave. Wouldn't have been a kill, but just little things to just consider in those moments, even though the Righteous Hammer, I believe, did they go? No, they actually didn't even go into the armor reduction from said Righteous Hammer, so it's not like that's an option. And they'll save their keep for bottom lane on the side of Illidancing Queens. Dax with the aggressive dive onto Dvala, amplifying their defense here. Really, really well played coming out from our blue side.
Saving that keep is no easy feat. They're going to move on down and try to grab this camp to alleviate some pressure. Will FC Hong Kong commit to the keep wall? No, they're just going to back up to the camp here.
Sestrin, a little nervous about that top lane, going to back off. Dax going to go help out. Jakebot and friends to do the same. Camp and top lane to be grabbed, but I don't know. Do they make the rotation down to bottom lane to save the 1,000 health on their fort, or will... No,
looks like they're going to commit to the top lane here. Yrel going to come on down just for show. Oh, Sestrin caught here by Ronan. There's the Blessed Shield engage, the root follow-up. Medallion not going to be enough. Great, great chase coming in from FC Hong Kong. They find their 16s. Can they find the siege here?
That was actually a really good pick and a really good pull as well. A full medallion out from them. Greymane actually used their medallion at the same time. Literally, it's at the exact same counter. So there was some big CC I missed for a second because I was looking at bottom lane. Because as always, we got to watch Yrel clearing lanes. 16's up on both sides, pressuring the keep. Will they step up for this, or do they back off once the Immortals are announced?
They're out of minions to soak the keep shots. All they've got is these Khazra, so it looks like FC Hong Kong are going to have to back off here. So far, their race on the Immortal has been superior to that of Illidancing Queens. I want to see whether Illidancing Queens adjusts going for the defense early, because so far the race has not been working out for them.
Unfortunately not, and I was actually looking, like, Li Ming, Greymane, that's a great duo for racing, but that's not working out for them right now, as the Immortals will spawn in the aggressive positions, meaning that they're going to, or I guess defensive positions, realistically. Blue on the left-hand side, red on the red on the right, as that's a Curse Bolt. Ronan taking a lot of damage. Sound Barrier used by the Lucio, and Ronan's able to sprint on out of there with that level 16 talent here. That's a bonus.
There's the Nova!
Nova, excuse me.
Not gonna catch him.
Black Stormer? No, you're fine. It's Yrel.
Yotaru getting whacked away by that.
Yeah.
That Snowhead in the back line. Meanwhile, though, Cake being chased away by Born to Shine. The last couple of sound waves hit. But there's the counter kill. Yotaru and Dax Low gonna have to move away here.
Do you know it's a really feels bad moment, Crush? When you're 26 damage away from your ice block, that would have just saved you right there.
Look
or 24 damage, excuse me.
976.
Yeah, that's a rough go right there. That you're literally like 24 damage away from being able to survive that. Because if they had ice block, I think that fight would have turned around because there was that explosive kill onto the Lucio. But now, Immortal very much in favor for the side of FC Hong Kong. Can they burn down Alarian, or do they need to go back and defend Belith?
Sestrin gonna go ahead and work on that. Does not have the Q talent, so it's gonna take a little longer here. Jakebot managing to use the stun zones of the Immortal. Blackstormer a little bit comboed there. Sestrin coming on up for the defense. I don't think the defense is going to be here, though. Born to Shine just now rejoining the team. They may not get the defense, but they may get the kills. Look at that. Yrel going to be blown up here, but the counter on
Dax!
ETC. Dax, oh no, is caught underneath the Jaina damage. Ronan has the Iron Skin. Zul taken down. Born to Shine is down. FC Hong Kong, they're going to get the Immortal. They're going to get the kills. Can they get the game here?
30 seconds on average for 4 players. Li Ming, the only defending hero. Vala going to be hearthing back with Tiny to be able to get some mana. And this will be Belith moving through top lane. Every single Immortal has gone over to the side of FC Hong Kong. They are upset about that last game.
Coming on through with a vengeance here. Not going to do the split this time. Just going to roll right in behind the Immortal. Still about 15 seconds till we see Zul and Lucio. It's going to be a defense at the core.
I'm waiting with like bated breath because everyone should be up and available for this defense, albeit they're going to be just kind of coming out of the Hall of Storms as Belith moves into this top lane. We have 20 talent here shy on the side of FC Hong Kong. Urella's making their way downtown to this core, and we'll see if they're able to do so. Can they end the game here?
There's the Nova again, going to catch 3 members. Can Tiny No Tai keep everyone alive? As the core down to 71%, this Immortal starting to become a problem. Black Stormers just keeping Sestern and Born to Shine completely zoned out. 41% on the core, that's going to be Lucio down, and that looks like it's going to be it here. FC Hong Kong, they're going to go up 2-1.
GG. Well played. They're on the precipice of knocking the members of Illidancing Queens out of Season 10 NGS and moving their way into those grand finals. Crush, do you think it's possible?
We saw some pretty back and forth there in games 1 and 2. FC Hong Kong looking fantastic in 1, and then Illidancing Queens just sort of outclassing them in game number 2. And now FC Hong Kong were never really behind there on Battlefield. I'm interested to see, we've seen the power of map pick with these two teams. I want to see if Illidancing Queens does indeed go with the map pick and where they think they're going to pick up their next win.
Illidancing Queens, let's see. They had first pick in that last game because the losing team, FC Hong Kong, wanted the map pick priority. So, do they go to a large map and play the macro game? Because I think, like Cursed Hollow is still up and available. So
Cursed is available, Towers is available.
Ooh, Towers is a good place to go.
Alterac is available. So I think we've got some big maps here.
I think you take them to a macro map, realistically. Maybe avoid, honestly, maybe you avoid a little bit of the Towers and Alterac because those ones feel very still team fighty. Like, all maps are team fighty. I mean, Cursed Hollow, you can still say the same thing. You've got the objective phase, but it is still, I feel like Cursed Hollow is a little bit more towards the macro side, whereas Alterac Pass and Towers of Doom get a little on the micro, and there's small team fight decisions that really change things. Regardless, that's what I'd be looking for, honestly, is Cursed Hollow. If I was the losing team looking for map pick, that's probably where I would go. But it's hard to say, because some people just really want that first pick priority, and they want that Greymane. They want that Li Ming first pick. We don't know yet. Excitedly
watching. Have to see here. I think I agree. There's no map quite like Cursed Hollow for just farting around and playing the map, and it looks like we had the call there, Bahamut.
Speaking of farting around, yeah, they're gonna get this map quickly, so I'm assuming that they're gonna have to run to the bathroom as well. But we are getting ready for this one. Let me update the score as well. Oops, I'm moving things in OBS ever so slightly. This is the team score for the correct side. Okay, cool. So it looks like this is going to be the map pick priority coming out from. So this is gonna be first pick priority for Illidancing Queens, and the map pick is going to be of. Side.
So FC choose Cursed Hollow.
Maybe they think that maybe they have something macro in mind. Do you know if any of them play Brightwing on the side of FC Hong Kong?
I don't see any Brightwing in their most played heroes here in my notes. Because I picked up everything that was 3 games or more played, so there may be a game or 2 in there, but it hasn't been a lot of games for either team.
Because the one thing I'm considering is do they play the global macro game in the sense of like playing to 20? Because I played last week, I had a whole false side stream and I was picking up not Apex Predator. I was picking up Epic Mount at level 20, and that level 20 is the same cooldown reduction as Apex Predator. They both in the most recent patch got a 50-second cooldown from their level 20. Yeah. So you go from 75-second global to 25. And as a false side player, that felt busted strong. Like, I was just like anywhere on the map within 25 seconds. That's less than your average team fight time. Your average team fight time is anywhere from 45 to 60 seconds in this game. So that was just like, to be able to have that manipulation, that control was really, really big in that sense. We lost that game because of Troll, because Heroes of the Storm, but hey, I was proud of my own play, and at the end of the day, that's what really matters. But
that is what counts. But yeah, I'm looking at these hero pools here for most played, and I'm not seeing a single global on either team. I'm not seeing the Falstads, the Dahakas, the Brightwings.
Sad.
So if I'm looking for options here for these two teams, if I'm looking for what their game plan could be, I've got to think it's just boss control. Are we going to see that Urel come through again for FC Hong Kong? Are we going to see the Leoric and the Orphea come on through for Illidancing Queens just to try to pile on top of those boss points? Because I really think that's what it's going to come down to here. Come down to here.
Oh, yeah.
On Cursed Hollow.
You're not wrong at all on that. It's a double boss map. You've got a lot of map control, and that's where I was thinking those globals would be a big factor. But yeah, Raynor, Hanzo, those are big, big heroes on a map like this, because even though, yes, they boss, they poke really well. Raynor's got Hyperion that sieges. You've got Raynor's Raider as well. Hanzo's just, yeah. We've got two taking a quick smoke break. What?
We almost had it there, Bahamut.
What?
We avoided the bio for, I don't know, is that an anti-bio break? I'm not sure what you would shorten that to.
I'm just shaming them. Like, who takes a cigarette break in the middle of a series? Like,
I got stressful, man.
I got my
chill out.
No, no, because that's the thing is you're taking away that moment. Like, even if you're the losing team, it's code for someone's pooping. I don't believe that.
They're icing the clock over here, taking a smoke break.
Yeah. They're cool. They're cooling
Icing
down
the
because this is the members of Illidancing Queens. We're gonna shame them on stream for this, but they're the ones who are taking a smoke break. And so what they're doing is exactly what you said. They're cooling down FC Hong Kong. This is actually something that was done in a fighting tournament one time, and it was it was when Marvel it was either when Marvel versus Capcom, like the third one, like the most recent one came out, or it was when the Dragon Ball game came out. But it was one of the Evos, and it was like the literal, like the newest game, like everyone was watching it, and one of the players asked to swap sides because they felt more comfortable. And what it did was it actually cooled down the opposing player, because it took them like a solid 15 minutes to be like, hey, can we do this? And then they had to go get an admin. And then that admin had to get an admin. And then they had to change all the production stuff on the screen as well, because you have to swap all the...
No.
So like so they literally cooled down this other player for like 10 to 15 minutes, and then they actually turned the entire series and won it back. They reverse swept them. And everyone in the crowd, like Twitch chat was like split, because like they were also one of the up and coming big fighter people, and they were making a name for themselves, but they also beat someone with this tactic who was like a legend in their category. So it's just, it's stuff like that that's crazy.
Yeah, it's just, those are the situations that, get rules named after them eventually, Mm-hmm. It's just like, they didn't break the rules, but we'd rather not see that again.
Yeah. Well, it was done in a little bit. It was done in Heroes of the Storm a little bit too, with bathroom breaks. There'd be teams who would go on longer bathroom breaks during HCC days to try and cool down the enemy team a little bit. And it was never publicly said that way, but like that's how I read it, because I was like, who the hell needs a bathroom break after every game? I'm sorry, like I get you're drinking a lot of liquids, but like you're trying to make a play happen here. You're definitely trying to make a play happen here. So we have shamed the members of Illidancing Queens enough on this topic. Looks like we are good to go. So we're gonna find ourselves here into Cursed Hollow in just a little second. I'm actually gonna run the whole stinger again, because why not? Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. My name is Bahamut, joined by Crushinator, as we are here in our best of 5 semifinals for Division E with Illidancing Queens up 1, but FC Hong Kong up 2, looking to close things out in a 3-1 fashion here on Cursed Hollow as we get through quite a few of our bands. Unfortunately, Born to Shine still not going to be able to shine on that Stukov.
No Stukov allowed. Having that silence zone, especially when the team fights have been going the way they are, where everyone just kind of dog piles in. If you're all just sort of silenced indefinitely, that sort of puts a kink in your plan there.
Little bit. Let's see. Gazlo. Do they
We got
respect
the same bands coming on out. We've got a Diablo band though.
There's a lot of value for there's a lot of value for Diablo in this map, and they played it pretty well in that Tomb of the Spider Queen game as well. So I see the respect in this. This like it makes sense because Shadow Charge, you can get some stupid, insane Shadow Charges. But Li Ming is the conversation for this best of 5. She has been so highly prioritized in the latter half of this draft. Is it because of just player pool, or is it just you think it's just maybe compositionally she fits everywhere?
I mean, I'm looking at the players. That is Cake's most played hero, but there is some variety there. And I think Li Ming, you've got a couple advantages here on Cursed around denying the objective, but just the ability to turn 1 kill into 4 is something that I think these teams really value.
And I think a great denial into that, you know, that 4 kill streak is like a Junkrat or even a Deckard Cain, because you have slows, you've got some roots, you've got displacement as well. So Li Ming, who's trying to blink in and chase in, yeah, they're looking to get rid of that. Malfurion will be grabbed, and a Sylvanas as well. Honest to God, though, go ahead.
If I see Junkrat Deckard, the first thing I think is Abathur.
Really?
Who's better at interrupting forever than Junkrat and Deckard?
Oh, I was looking at a Garrosh in there as well, because you get the double displacement. And then you have the roots as well for Warlord's Challenge. Like that's what I was thinking synergistically.
There for sure.
That's because like that's what I often see paired in with the Junkrat. That or like an ETC. So, but the Abathur hat is a good point as well. The level of delay that you can get. So something like an Abathur Lucio is insane. Obviously, we have a Deckard, so it's not the case. I personally, I don't think we see an Abathur here. It's not. It just. I don't feel like it's in the cards, but that's also only seeing a Junkrat Deckard. They're not showing a ton of what they plan to do here as the Joanna band comes out from the side of Illidancing Queens, and FC Hong Kong gets rid of the ETC. So we're going to be seeing some new tanks in this game, as pretty much all of our tanks have been banned out that we've seen so far.
That is true. No Diablo, no ETC, no Johanna. Muradin Tassadar coming on through. You know who's a good Abathur target? Muradin.
I mean, if you play the good Muradins though, like if you play that McIntyre Muradin, absolutely. If you play Bahamut's Muradin, maybe. Well, no, my Muradin is literally McIntyre's because that's who I learned it from. It's actually
Abathur hat.
You do 100%, but this will be a Mei and a Yrel. Now, Mei into Deckard is worrisome because you have the Emerald at level 7, and do you consider? Wow!
I missed it. It's gonna be a Murky from Yotaru. So. I still think I'm right about delay. We've got the super long-range Tassadar. We've got the Deckard and Junkrat that can interrupt from 2 screens away. Muradin can go in with reckless abandon. And I guess it's going to be Murky, proxy and waves, and stealing camps here for Illidancing Queens.
This looks like one of my Storm League drafts, honest to God. This is like 2,000% my Storm... Like, this is the point when I'm streaming my Storm League, and I look at the camera and I go, chat, cut to me losing in 20 minutes. Because that's what happens, because everyone either tunnels on the Murky or doesn't focus on the Murky. It's one of those heroes that like people are just like, I don't know, and like I've had like people who are like, I can't deal with it. I'm like, you're a Tassadar versus a Murky. You've got so much in your kit to be able to burst that little frog down and stop them. But regardless, let's go ahead and get on into our potential final game of the evening, or can the members of Illidancing Queens turn things around? Because we've got our Illidancing Queens on the left-hand side, up 1 in the best of 5 on our Division E playoff matchup. On the bottom bracket, Sestrin will be on the Tassadar, Born to Shine on that Deckard, Yotaru on the Murky, Jakebot going to be on the Muradin, and Dax on the Junkrat.
On the right in the red, trying to close out this series, it's FC Hong Kong with Nematode on the Sylvanas, Cake's playing Li Ming, Blackstormer on the Yrel, Ronan on the Mei, and Tiny Notai back on that Malfurion.
We'll go ahead and get on into our mid. Check out our level 1. Sorry, I'm seeing a couple things in chat about like, is this a best of 5? And I'm like, oh wait, is it? No one's. Well, here's the thing. The form I filled out today said it was a best of 5, so I'm gonna go with a best of 5. No, literally, no one's corrected me like NGS wise, so I think we're good. I think it's different divisions do different things, as well as like different blocks of divisions do different things. Like I think like A and Heroic are different than B through essentially D or something. We can get into that later as Murky's gonna pop their bubble and get on out of there. They are going to be a fishy deal Murky, so I will do my best to keep everyone up to date on those stacks.
Stack's going to be very important here as Murky has so much space in between these lanes to sneak around, steal camps, and it's going to Blackstormer's going to have to be on high alert for basically this entire game in order to keep Yotaro in check.
I want to know if Murky goes into, not goes into, but does the Murky things that I love so very much, which is, well, murkying the lane or the wave, which essentially you get all of your stacks and then you steal the enemy team's. Wow, Urel is just holding that W. But you get a bunch of stacks and you go and steal the enemy team's siege camp, and then you actually continue to push out the wave between the keep and the actual fort. So you're actually catching the wave before it even gets into your lane. I've seen a couple top tier Murkies do that, and it's a really good harassment tool to the point where you're pulling someone very far out of the lane to do this. But Murky will go down, technically first blood of the game, but that's only a quarter of a blood. So they got to get 3 more of those before we'll consider it first blood, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to see whether the proxy Murky is in the cards here for Yotaro. Looking like Blackstormer has a good handle on that matchup, taking care of that pufferfish. Meanwhile, in the top lane, the tanks are going to slap each other with their toy maces. And the siege camps are picked up for both teams.
Pretty standard across the board when it comes to that. The only difference that I would point out here is the members of FC Hong Kong, I would actually do their camps in the reverse order. I would have actually grabbed their mid lane and then grabbed their siege giants, because the objective phase is still roughly 14 seconds, or excuse me, it was like 20 something seconds. So what happens is you have this mid lane camp come through, but you're delaying out your siege giants longer. And the reason I was saying it for FC Hong Kong to do it in that rotation is because then you can have the siege giants in bottom lane during the top lane objective phase. For the members of Illidancing Queens, I actually like the rotation they made, because what happens is they get their siege giants out, yes, and those are going to get cleared out regardless because the objective phase is top. They're grabbing their bruiser camp from mid lane because it creates the same kind of off pressure the bottom lane siege giants create. The little something I learned when I was actually casting with Jayhow a ton, as well as just something we saw a lot in the TESPA Collegiate series, and I've been noticing it more and more with these teams. But we're going to get out of bottom lane. We're going to go to the objective, as that's going to be up in 15 seconds, and Crush. Seems like we got a 4v4 over this?
Looks like Urel is going to maintain pressure on Murky for the meantime. Tiny Notai getting blown all the way in there as we see Murky go down in the bottom lane. Now this is where... Are we going to see Urel continue the pressure here against Murky? How many interrupts are we going to get? Oh, a great block there from Cake. Eating the Stormbolt is going to allow a quick cap over on the side of FC Hong Kong. That's exactly what they want against this Murky comp.
Oh, the stacks don't show anymore. I have to hover over them, but they're at 7 out of the 20 right now, so they can almost bribe one unit. As I gotta be honest, I keep watching.
Oh, Blackstormer.
Wait.
Murky. Oh
my God. Wow, good catch down there. I was like, let's see what's happening, and wow. They are also this is the Slime Time Murky. So we'll see what the later game looks like for them, because I personally love Slime Time.
The solo potential is very strong in the late game for Murky there for sure. Looks like Blackstormer just going to go right back to full health, as Urel often does. And the teams are just going to reset here and continue on the path to level 10.
Next objective phase is going to be top left on the map. They work in quadrants. You basically have your left, center, and right on the map, and then you have your top and bottom, so you have 6 areas. Top left will be our second one, and it is a rotation of 3. So the third one actually will be in this bottom right, because of just, since it's already gone to middle, and it's already gone to the left-hand side, it will then go to the right, and I think it actually then switches lanes as well. Before, you actually had the little thing showing on the map beforehand, like you have on Infernal Shrines. You had to do this math. You had to be like, okay, it pops up in center, bottom, or, center, top, or bottom, always, and then it starts to randomize. So the third one was always very predictable. But right now, we're on the second one, and Crush, still, Murky and Urel bottom, 4v4 top lane.
Looks like Illidancing Queens is in a little bit better position for this one. Just poking in from the outside with those grenades, with that shock ray. Looking like the team fight is still a lot better on the side of FC Hong Kong, though, as May is going to go straight in there. Nematode and Cake looking for an angle, but Junkrat just blowing everyone away with those mines. Right now, the damage just not that high over on the side of Illidancing Queens there, Bahamut.
A lot of poke potential and a lot of control coming out that they're able to whittle them down, but the same can be said from Cake.
That orb.
Yeah, they drop some damage. May is going to ice in right now. Nematode is going to be actually 1v1ing Sestrin, but that's not going too well. Jakebot is going to try and dive in, but they see the Haunting Wave go back, and they decide to drop back as well. I want to point out one thing. The Decker Cane did not go into Emerald at level 7. They looked for the increase, the damage reduction. Kanai's Cube at level 7, so they're not going to be trying to mitigate any of that cryo freeze value from the Mei. And it is a very mechanical, quick thing you have to do, but surprise, that's not the case. And back into bottom lane, Yotaru's losing this front gate a little bit, and their Murky Egg's a little exposed to Black Stormer.
Right now, Yrel definitely getting the better of this one. I'd like to see Yotaru possibly try to switch around lanes, possibly try for a double rotation to try to get Yrel off of this lane. Because right now, just sticking around here isn't going so well for Illidancing Queens.
No, I do want to point out, though, that Yotaru's already finished Slime Time. That's not... Well, they did reduce it, too, also, so it's not that hard, but it... Whoa, and one more auto?
Oh, that's going to be enough.
Is that our first Murky full death? Yeah, so there you go. That's their second kill of the game. No. 10 talent here, though, because of the couple kills that they've got on this Murky, 4 specifically, as well as the singular kill onto, I believe, that Junkrat, they've bolstered their experience on the side of FC Hong Kong, and they find themselves with 10 talent here, and the advantage on this curse. Looks like the side of Illidancing Queens want to force the fight because they do not want to give a curse over. Let's see what happens as Murky sneaks into top lane.
Now, that's what I think I want to see from Illidancing Queens, but without the interrupt here, it's going to be a curse going over to the side of FC Hong Kong. Now Illidancing Queens on the back foot. Can they keep their forts alive here?
Siege Giants in bottom lane. Murky needs to replace their egg very quickly, or at least not die in top lane, because they're going to lose that egg. Now, losing your egg also means that Murky vision is global to the enemy team until they place another egg, and Yrel can see them with that exclamation mark over their head. And can they get this kill? I know it's a Murky kill, but this is a Murky kill with no egg. Can they get it? They're going to dive over the gate. They get the kill, and that's full death timer on the Murky, 20-some seconds, and that is not where you want to be as a Murky. There are 2 heroes that do not want to die in that case. Abathur doesn't want to die, out of lane, and Murky doesn't want to die without an egg out. So there you go. 9 seconds on them as they get a fort for bottom, and Yrel clears out top.
Fortunate timing there. If there wasn't a curse active, Murky would have been just fine. But as it stands, Murky just now respawning and already onto the keep here. It's FC Hong Kong, but look at the sleep from Born.
But the avalanche, the snowball from hold on, that's actually there's going to be a Octo grab. I couldn't even think of it for a second because I was expecting the March of the Murlocs to come out. But literally, the Avalanche actually stopped the Riptire value from the Junkrat. The Avalanche caught that Junkrat, pushed them away, and if you silence, you stun, you kill the Junkrat, they will lose their Riptire. They actually lose control of it and it doesn't explode. So very well played from the Mei as Dax is low, but they get some healing out from Born to Shine.
Great start here for FC Hong Kong. We saw the level 10 value on Hanamura Temple for Illidancing Queens. Will we see that here on Cursed Hollow? And Illidancing Queens turn this around, because right now FC Hong Kong absolutely in the driver's seat as they go and take the top right boss.
Definitely a team that does well in these momentum moments, and it's showcased very well here. Mei is going to go ahead and pop that Cryo Freeze, get a little bit of health back, as we do see some potions coming out in the top lane from the Deckard, but it's too close to 13s. I think they might know that they're on this boss, but I actually, with 13 talent here in pocket, I'm looking to double boss. Like, I would rush bottom if I was FC Hong Kong.
Looks like Yrel going to head to the top lane, try to aid the push. The rest of the crew going to clear mid. We'll see if they stream across the map here. Illidancing Queens thinking about catching them. Sestrin managing to get out of vision. I think they have been spotted trying to move around Jakebot there. We're going to have a double play. There's Murky with the Octo Grab on the outside. Ronan trying to get away here. Here's the Riptire coming on out, trying to find Cake and Tiny Notai. Nematode having to move on back. There's another great Avalanche pushing away the Archon of Sestrin.
Yotaru is doing their best.
FC Hong Kong continue the push here.
Yotaru's harassing in the back as best they can. Good damage coming out from Cake, but there is also a avatar form from the Murden that's going to go down. That will be Murky going down, giving a reset over to Li Ming. I believe they're dominant. Yeah, they're domination at level 4, so that gives them the healing off that kill, 30% if I'm not mistaken. But now this boss is still pushing in through top, and they had to make a call, and they left this boss for bottom lane. So FC Hong Kong thinking that they can take this, but Ronan scouts out the enemy team coming back at this. Murky showing top. It's 4v5 technically as Murden gets hit with a root, and they're gonna get popped like a pimple.
Murden just chain stunned and the boss and rooted. Absolutely destroyed, and that's going to push Illidancing Queens back into the base.
Muradin down for 15. They get this boss for bottom lane, and with a Sylvanas, let me just double check. Does she have black arrows up and available? She does. They could look to push with this boss and take a keep, but I think with the Muradin death timer as low as it is, they're going to maybe play for the objective. Murky, gonna try and grab this, but I don't know if you're gonna be able to get this in time. I'm actually on. I'm just on the Murky vision. So I couldn't see the enemy team coming in, so they're going to do their best to get out of here. They should be fine. Well, no, that's a dead Murky.
Use the bubble early. That's going to be it for Murky.
And they are...
boss being cleared away here by Illidancing Queens. So we see FC Hong Kong just trying to paint this map red.
Their team fight is pretty good, but I'm trying to look at their initiation off the team fight, and I feel like they have to play into the enemy team's missteps, and that's what they've done so very well. Like, yeah, they've got some CC between Mei and Malfurion and a little bit of control with that Yrel, but Yrel's off doing Yrel things for 90% of the game. So their initial setup for these team fights need to be played off the enemy team, and I think that's why I was looking around. I was like, obviously they're also looking for 16, but like they're not trying to initiate a lot of these team fights half the time. They're just playing off the enemy team's missteps and over aggressiveness, because that boss play in bottom, so very well done just to kind of bait them back and forth. But with 16s in their pocket, can the side of Illidancing Queens even step to this tribute? It won't be curse, but will put them at advantage.
Only got 5 seconds here. They managed to clear the mid camp. They do have the opportunity to step up. Though down 16 to 14, it may be better advised to just move on and look for another opportunity. Looks like that's what they're going to do.
Malfurion gets the channel, gets the regeneration globe, camp coming in through bottom lane, and they're not deathballing per se, but they're grouped up and making sure that they're a little more survivable as 4. This does slow down their rotations, but they're only needing to close the gap to 16. Let's see, I'm just looking around the map for camp timers. There's really nothing below a minute. The closest camp timers are top left, so until then, they're fishing a little bit for a kill here, I think. Like, as much as I said that they're not, kind of seems like they are.
Illidancing Queens is set up here. FC Hong Kong just going to shove straight down the bottom lane. Yrel starting to rotate around as well as Murky, trying to desperately to find level 16. Jakebot, that's a pretty dangerous position there. Out of vision for now.
Ooh, Dax.
The root comes on through, follow-up stun. Cake gets blown away as well. Is this the fight that Illidancing Queens is looking for?
It's a little awkward. Jakebot has to dwarf toss away. Bunch of super...
Cake stuck in the back there.
Oh, yeah. Short distance blink, is there? No, Tiny has the damage. Yeah, I know. I was so worried they're going to pop the Tranquility to keep them alive. That's going to be the ice, excuse me, the cryo freeze from our Mei as the Murky will go down. They're going to be all the way back in the Hall of Storms. Black Storm are getting low. There's going to be an avalanche onto the Decker Kane. Jakebot is going to be able to dwarf toss through the super potion and be able to get that healing as Cake is looking to chase out and stop the Avatar healing, or excuse me, stop their baseline healing. Jakebot being chased, but I think they're more or less buying time. And this is such a weird fight. Cake is going to see them dwarf toss in, look for that Storm Bolt. What's going to happen?
Chaos is working kind of in Illidancing Queen's favor here. As
a little bit.
Is going to get caught by the Deckard root. Oh, but a Black Stormer again coming in clutch. Jakebot is somehow still alive on the right side of the map.
And look at their level 1.
Healed up by the trait, interrupted by Malfurion, and I think that's going to be it. Jakebot buys enough time for a curse to go over to Illidancing Queens. I want value, I'm going to say.
Yeah, I was looking, I was like 30 some seconds, you get curse, you get tribute, you deny curse, maybe, but you're going to give over one boss top lane and potentially another in bottom.
Boss, it took a long time for that second boss to be capped, so
yeah.
I don't think they're going to be able to move straight into it here.
Also, objective phases between when they spawn, when they get, excuse me, from when they get capped to when they spawn again is very, very short on this map. It's like 15 to 20 seconds, and we're already going to be seeing another one popping up in this top lane right next to where they are. So it's advantageous for the side of FC Hong Kong to push the wave a wee bit, get this camp pushed out, and then just set up and position around this objective. I think they have the positional advantage. They need to play into that, and that's exactly what they're doing. I love the call for this. This is exactly what I'd be directing my team to do if I was the shot caller.
Great work here from FC Hong Kong. Ronan gonna go ahead and just to get on the correct side of that Junkrat mine. But there's the Tassadar wall. Mei still has a lot of options. Jakebot being jumped onto by Blackstormer. That's an early Avatar as 3 are sent back inside the Avalanche. That's big trouble here for Sezdrin. Archon Tassadar taken out. Look at all that damage on the Cake, though. Jakebot wants this kill. Li Ming going to go down, but that's going to be Curse going over to FC Hong Kong. Jakebot once again on a merry-go-round. Nematode managing to get away here. I feel like the damage from Junkrat and Deckard is kind of starting to ramp up here.
Absolutely. It's can they survive long enough? I would say this: FC Hong Kong was a little not super greedy, but instead of team fighting further and finding the kills that they would have been able to solidify, they actually split one and went for the channel, and that's when we had this kind of crazy just chase around. And Murden did what JakeBot does this so very well. Like we have to shout this out. JakeBot does a really good job of just harassing and slowing the enemy team down from getting what they want, and just being this annoying tank. And just a shout out to them for that one because they play it so very well. But so far, this is a double keep phase. Stormbolt will connect onto one. Can they find a kill?
Unfortunately, it's Yrel that gets the connection. Everyone gets blown on back with the hammer. Core going to be starting to get peppered by these catapults. Illidancing Queens, they know that they need to get some kills and they need them fast. Root is good onto Blackstormer. Yrel just living forever. Ronan pushed into the back line. Born to Shine, gets interrupted there. And all of a sudden, that's going to be Murky down, and the chase is reversed. FC Hong Kong maybe looking to end this game here as the lanes are collapsing on the core.
JakeBot's trying to get out of here in their avatar form. They're slowed. There's the Blizzard. Is it enough damage? There's a medallion used from the Junkrat. Li Ming throws a combo out, mostly focusing on the core, getting the reset right there, also getting some health. Riptire going to be coming out. Does get some damage onto a few. 57% on this core, but a lot of them have been poked at, and they're a little too nervous to go for this. They're going to back off, but they get a solid 43% off this core. What does this keep at? I'm sorry, hold on. 50 literal health. What does this keep? Are we serious? Do you see this? Like, there's no bar there. There's no literal bar.
Illidancing Queens, they know this boss is the target. Yotaro trying to get onto the point. Murky going to be able to live for just a moment. Is that going to be enough? JakeBot jumps in. Oh no, it's too late. Yotaro doesn't commit to the point. The boss is going to stun Murden. That is going to be it for JakeBot. The lanes in the top and bottom are starting to collapse. There's going to be a boss coming through the bottom lane. And I don't think Illidancing Queens is going to have what it takes here with the core only at 57%.
The repulsion kill onto Murky was just so well. Just the audio for it was just so perfect. But they do get the keep in mid. They got to make sure they get that, custom game experience. There's going to be a Archon form from Tassadar. They're trying to get some damage out to the enemy team, but it's not going to be working out right now. Tranquility comes out from Tiny. There's going to be the Octograb onto them. A lot of damage coming out, and they do have that armor reduction from the core. They're going to pop the Tranquility. Boss is now on core with only Junkrat and Deckard to defend. Riptire comes out. They're trying to do as much as they can as Deckard goes down. All that's left is a Murky and a Dax, but the core falls. FC Hong Kong take the best of 5 in a 3-1 fashion. GG. Well played. That was an amazing series, Crush.
Fantastic job from our two teams. They knew the maps that they wanted to go. They had their plans in place. And it was just FC Hong Kong's day, getting revenge over that reverse sweep in the regular season. They're going to move on to the grand finals here in Division E.
I'm just going to ask Ronan if one wants to do interview really quickly, making sure, yes, that is the right tank player. I didn't choose. Oh, they don't get direct messages. Wonderful. Shame. Open up your DMs if you play competitive Heroes of the Storm. I can't DM them. I can't DM them. I can't DM the entire team. All right, you don't get an interview. That's it.
We could ping them in Discord.
Yeah, that takes effort. Hold on.
Just do like an ad in Div channel.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that really quickly. At dear Lord, FC Hong Kong. I'm shaming them slightly. Don't judge me. Let's go ahead and jump on into one of those voice channels so they can just jump in as well. I'm gonna do lobby 1.
Here we are in lobby 1.
Here we are in lobby 1. They're gonna send Blackstormer. Blackstormer, congratulations on your 3-1 victory. How are you feeling after that best of 5 series?
Real good, honestly. Heart pumping, a little bit of shivers,
I gotta ask you, because we were kind of joking about this, do you feel like they were cooling y'all down in between those games? Like that last game where they all went for a quote-unquote cigarette break, do you think that they were maybe cooling you down a little bit? You guys had some momentum.
I think that actually helped most of our teams.
Oh, really?
Because, I don't know, I feel like one of the biggest mistakes our teams at our level can make is winning a game and then thinking less of your opponent because of it.
Ooh,
and
okay.
then underestimating them and losing. That can happen to any player in this league, any team in the league, and honestly, most teams in general.
Okay.
So that little 5 minutes to just take a step back.
That was good for you.
Yeah.
Well, that was great. Crush, any questions for Black Stormer?
So we saw there a big priority onto map pick between the two teams today, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the ban of Infernal Shrines, because it was clear from the stats Tomb of the Spider Queen, Infernal Shrines were the two maps that you both preferred. Did you feel that removing Infernal Shrines first gave you the upper hand in just going on to more unknown maps for the rest of the series?
Just to clarify, you mean we banned Infernal Shrines, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's more of a comfort thing, because like usually teams like to put their best foot forward. Like we put Tomb first, so Tomb's our best map, and so when we won that Tomb game, we got like that initial momentum, that like initial step forward, and that's a strong thing. So by banning the shrines when they didn't ban Tomb, I felt like we got a little bit of an edge forward because of that.
Okay. The other big thing I wanted to talk about, seemingly the story of the series in terms of heroes, was the very high prioritization onto Li Ming. It seemed like the initial hero bans were pretty much set by the scouting, but what do you feel like Li Ming brings to your team specifically that you want to be taking it so high in the draft?
See, and this is going to be a little bit, this is our league. People are less good at dodging the orbs than, say, Grandmaster will be. So Li Ming can get a lot of value. I mean, we didn't go orb reset, I think, on 4, but even still, it's like she can chunk people with her orb missile combos, and it's pretty hard to dodge those. And so we usually feel it's like a pick or them have her. So
Okay. Well, it was put to great use by both teams today, especially in the final games there for you guys. Looking fantastic out there. Any other thoughts there, Bahamut?
Oh no, I was wondering if they had any comments on that one. No, it was honest to God, it was a really, really good series. I had a blast casting it with Crush here. Who do you want to go up against in the upper portion of the bracket?
Whoever gives the most fun games.
Oh, come on! You gonna give us that kind of answer? No, that's fair. That's fair. I won't press you any further on that one. But no, thank you so much for the interview. Thank you so much for the games. Before I let you run out of here, are there any shoutouts that you'd like to give? The floor is all yours, my friend.
Shout out to my team for setting this up. I am a new-ish player. I kind of joined a year ago, and this is the first NGS we've been doing as a team, or like as I've been on the team. And a shout out to you guys for casting our games and keeping the community alive. It really does mean a lot to see these games and see people care about our games and see it played on Twitch.
Always. As long as there's 10 people who want to play against each other in a custom, I will be here. So, with that, thank you for the interview. Congratulations on your victory, and we look forward to seeing you all next week in your grand final matchup for Division E. You have a great night, Black.